Australia, welcome to the MCG for 3AW's coverage of this round 15 clash between Geelong and Richmond, bringing you this afternoon's action. In special comments, three-time Coleman medalist from Essendon, Matthew Lloyd, and the 1990 Norm Smith medal winner, Tony Shaw. And in commentary, it's a very good Saturday afternoon to Alistair Nicholson and Mac Granlund.
Yes, indeed, the footy continues for Maccas on 3AW. This is a fair income footy Super Saturday. We've just had Carlton and Freo. Now it's two of the competition heavyweights. Richmond versus Geelong battling it out for a top four spot. Both teams are in form. Both teams are ready to rumble on a late Saturday at the mighty MCG with a great crowd building. We'll welcome Lloydie in a moment and Tony Shaw. But joining me in commentary, and he's got a little bit of team news as well, thanks to ENS and Fisher and Paykel, major partners of the 3AW AFL tipping competition. Alistair Nicholson, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Matt. Great to be here at the MCG. And it was a bit of a surprise when the teams dropped initially to see that Ivan Soldo had been dropped out of the 22 for Richmond and then named as the medical sub. Hugo Ralphsmith coming into the 22, but there's been a very late change for Geelong as well. Gary Rowan didn't play last week because of the health and safety protocols, and he hasn't come up today. We can only assume it's an issue that he sustained in the warm-up, so he is out for Geelong. Zach Guthrie comes in, and the substitute will be Cooper Stevens for the Cats today. So a late out for the Cats, very late out, and Soldo going out for the Tigers. He'll be the medical sub. Gary Rowan out for Geelong, Zach Guthrie to take his place.
Alrighty, let's welcome our experts, Tony Shaw and Matthew Lloyd. Lloydie, this is a blockbuster. This is a big one.
It is, Matt. 5v7. So the Cats sitting in fifth. They're on 36 points, 127%. Richmond one game behind. 32 points and a fair bit of percentage. So they're on 10% behind. So huge game for Richmond. Could easily be out of the 8 if they lose this one, whereas Geelong want to stay around that top 4. I think if they win this game, Geelong, they could be in that top 4. We saw what Carlton did today. That's put pressure on. They've gone into 4th position, a game ahead of Geelong, Shorey. So everyone's jockeying for those top 4 spots.
Yeah, gee, there's a bit of a feel here, isn't it? Like, I would have loved to have seen this game at 2 o'clock because I reckon we would have got 85,000. But, yeah, the weather's good. People look like they're coming. But I don't know. Is it the MCG, the Marvel? There is a difference about how you feel when you come to a big crowd and the two sides, like you said, are in great form. Look, I'm going to go with Geelong at the moment. I think the Richmond's last month have been brilliant. They've worked their way back in some ripper matchups that could be happening, like Cameron, who's I think the informed player of the competition. You would think Grimes might get the first go. Would they go with the young Gipkus, the young bloke who he's had a few goals kicked on him, but they've thrown in some big jobs over the journey. And of course, Tarrant will go to Hawkins, and then Curvis up against Stanley in the ruck, and then had both these sides go pretty deep in their midfield. So, yeah, I'm looking for a belter here tonight.
It's interesting, Lloydie, if you look at it, the forward line, as Sherry just said, Jeremy Cameron, unbelievable form at the moment. You've got Tom Hawkins up there as well. Don't forget about Tyson Stengel, who's also a pretty good player in this competition at the moment. So you'd give a tick there to Geelong. Defence, I'd like your view on that. Who would you give the tick to? And then I suppose it all comes down to the midfield.
Yeah, looking at the midfield, watching them warm up at the moment, Mark Blixarves is in with the midfield group. So I reckon Jack Henry takes Revolt. Henry, he can play tall, can play small. I think he's a good size for Jack Revolt, and De Koning's perfect for Lynch. So it allows for Blixarves to play further up the field if those matchups go well. In terms of down the other end, I think Grimes, I'd go with on Jeremy Cameron, and then Robbie Tarrant's the worry for me. He'll have to go to Tom Hawkins, and if you can hold him to under 3 goals, he's doing a good job. But just concerned about the movement of Robbie off the mark. He's just lost his speed. And I'm tipping Richmond just because I think they've got more depth through that midfield. I think what Baker and Short have done, Nico, made a massive difference to them, and I just think they bat that little bit deeper with Dustin Martin back in as well. I think they can win a tight one.
As a key forward, Lloydie, I'm sure you prided yourself on stepping up in big games, kicking big bags against the best opposition in the competition. There's an interesting stat around Jeremy Cameron this season and how he's fared against teams currently outside the 8 and teams who are currently in the 8. So 37 goals, 11 in 9 games against non-top 8 sides. He's kicked 2 goals, 7 against top 8 sides. So 4 games against the top 8, current top 8, coming into the round, 2 goals, 7. 9 games against those outside the top 8, 37 goals, 11. Would you be aware of that as a key forward? Would you know that you would do a big performance against a big opposition?
Yeah, you're fully aware of it. I remember flying into Adelaide for a big final one day, and Robbo had me splashed over the back page about dining out on weaker sides at one point. So he certainly knew, being a Bombers man. But I think also when they've lost games, so he's like the barometer for them. I think Callum Wilkie got him one of those losses at Marvel Stadium, and I can't think of who got him earlier on the year as well. But yeah, if he's held under 2 goals, a bit like Aaron Norton with the Bulldogs, if he's held under a couple of goals, they often lose the game of footy. So that's just how important Jeremy is to them.
How do you play him, Jeremy Cameron?
You've got to play him like Charlie Cameron. I think that's like, as a small, you've got to keep him in front of you. You can't let him get out the back, because he plays a little bit like a small player with his speed. So he turns you inside out. So you just got to keep finger in the back, just pushing him in the back, and it's easier said than done, but you can't let him turn you inside out, otherwise he just makes you pay. So that's how I play him from behind and just keep pushing him in.
You should never allow him run back to goal, because he's got the best lateral movement of a key forward in the competition. He'll run it straight at the ball carrier and then go left or right out on a 90-degree angle, and that's how he gets behind you. So you just do not allow him to go. If he marks out in front of you, as in getting on the lead, that's probably the problem of everybody else, and the team defence is broken down. So yeah, I agree with Lloyd. He doesn't take many pack marks, so you're not too worried. Yeah, on the shoulder, push him the boundary, and try and get him onto his right side, not the left foot, because he kicks goals from anywhere inside 50 with boomerangs, because he kicks across his body so well.
And he's involved as well. Number 1 for score involvement since round 2, Jeremy Cameron, in the competition. So he's a hard man to stop. I want to talk about Dustin Martin. Missed last week, Lloydie, the dreaded lurgy that is going around. Obviously had a late start to the season. Really hasn't hit his absolute best form, has he, Dusty?
No, he's had one of those years where, due to mental health and also being sick, that he just can't get consistency. We see Patrick Dangerfield, he's taken a spell because of that very reason, just couldn't get consistency, and he's just having a training block. And so it doesn't matter how good you are, you need to train well throughout the week, get 2 good sessions in all the time, and he's just missed too much, and he's sort of like he's been trying to play catch up a lot of the time. Where I'm intrigued too, sure, is the game styles of the 2 teams. Richmond slingshot versus Geelong, who like a bit more control. So that's going to be a real factor in the game.
I think Geelong have to hit the corridor as much as that, and they don't do it well out of defence. They go very wide. I think the second widest playing side in the competition as when they get control from the back half. So I think against Richmond, you've got to hit the corridor a few times to try and get through the lines, especially when they've got the ball deep in their forward line. They set up so well behind the ball. But I'm still going with Geelong in this game. But, it's going to be a beauty.
Dylan Grimes has won the toss. The Tigers will kick to the famous punt road end in the opening quarter. The Cats to attack the city end. Cats pretty good record against Richmond in recent times. They've won 3 of their last 4 against Richmond by an average of 56 points. So they'd be heading in fairly confident. So you're on the Cats, Shuri. Who are you going for and what margin, Lloydie?
I'm the Tigers, and I'll say under 3 goals.
What about you, Nico?
Yeah, I think Richmond will win, Matty, by about 15 points. And isn't it weird when you come to the MCG and Richmond's playing, and given it's a Geelong home game, they've displaced the cheer squad. So they've said to the Richmond cheer squad, get up the other end. You can sit in the Ponsford stand today. We're owning the punt road end.
And what about this for a matchup? Mark O'Connor to Bolton. Shea Bolton. So he often tags someone inside mid. Well, he'll go with Bolton absolutely everywhere. What about you, Matty? You with the Cats?
I'm with the Cats, I think, by 10 points. Well, big game, high stakes. Geelong and Richmond from the home of football, the MCG. Here is Alastair Nicholson to get us started.
It's a match with huge ramifications. The Cats could go to second if they win. The Tigers, well, they'd be knocking on the door of the top 4. High bounce in the middle, no decisive knock. Atkins gets it, Martin gets him, locks it in, and we'll have a secondary ball up.
A bit of a surprise. Jack Henry going forward, so trying to stretch this Richmond defence. No drop-off players.
Channeling his younger brother, who's doing well at Collingwood. Stanley kicks it forward in the Hawkins direction. It gets to the back. Here is Henry. Paddles it out. Close. Spins. Defensive hand pass. 45 from goal. Tui gets a look. A snap. Doesn't have the penetration, but Blitzarves takes a wonderful mark. Back with the flight between the goal and point post. He's on a tight angle in the right forward pocket. He's only 15 metres out as he goes back to take his shot.
Gee, poor checking by Marlon Pickett then to allow him to get goal side.
So Blitzarves is going to use his left and bend it through. Opening goal to the Cats comes off the boot of Blitzarves. Geelong won straight, Richmond yet to score, and we've been playing 1 minute on the Shell V-Power scoreboard.
Well, he started on the wing, Blitzarves. We know he's got enormous flexibility, but Marlon Pickett, he was at the top of the goal square. Now, I know you play in front, but he had a teammate also 5 metres in front of him. All he had to do was make body on body, and I reckon that ball would have gone through because it was very awkward marking, and Grimes was going to be there anyway. So just know what's around you at the time.
Well, that's interesting, as you said, Lloydie, Henry starting forward. So what's the back setup for Geelong?
Yeah, Kolodjasny, he often does take revolt, so I think it's a match-up they've liked in previous history between the two. So De Koning on Tom Lynch, Kolodjasny on revolt, and as I said, Mark O'Connor with that tagging role's probably changed things a little bit. He's going to go with Bolton wherever he goes.
So Geelong with the first goal. We're back in the middle. And Curvis wins it down, comes to Martin. He was tackled. And the umpire said holding the ball. Tom Atkins got him. Atkins with the free kick, gets on with business. He kicks it up inside the 50 for the Cats. And it's going to be, well, no mark dropped that time. Grimes had it and he tried to get the kick away. In there is Selwood, Stanley, Blitzarves. And now Hawkins, look away, handball to Guthrie. He had it snatched by Edwards, who just centres it up. And Short takes the mark, true centre half back Richmond.
He's held up for a moment. He looks to the southern side. It's not a great kick. Tui got back and was able to affect the contest.
Ooh.
Knocked it away from McIntosh and emerged and kicked it into the pocket over the head of Stengel and out on the full.
I thought Tui should have handballed at ground level then. I know he was running on to his preferred side, but he had his teammate, and it was Henry again.
Richmond deep in defence, right back pocket. Flosstone goes short to Grimes across the face of goal, and he comes towards left half back, and Daniel Rioli, who spies Baker near the members' wing.
So Baker runs with a Sharon, kicks the half forward. Revolt will be his target. Kolodjasny with him. Edwards takes it before it went out, and Revolt ran on. He takes the football, might have a flyer at goal here, but getting back to Kearney at last line. Takes the mark for the Cats deep in defence. He goes to Tui. Tui just stands and looks. Inside defensive 50, looks out to that southern side. Good kick to Duncan, who's able to collect this one on the bounce. Then goes short. Henry was the target. Bypassed him. Hawkins will end up with it. Handball to Henry. Kept on running. Steps inside the 50. Gonna have a crack at goal, Henry, and put it through.
Great handball.
Great work. He kept on going, Jack Henry. And he salutes with Geelong's second goal. 2 straight 12. The Cats. Richmond are yet to score, and we're 3.5 minutes in on the Shell V-Power scoreboard.
Lordy, that corridor kick gets to Duncan, and it all started from there.
Oh, he's been brilliant since they've moved him to the half-back flank. They felt they were just lacking that little bit of class and experience back there, so he's gone back there, and he's just looked like he's done it for his whole career. And a big job for Judson Clark. So that's the man that Tom Stewart has picked up. So Stewart might often look to pick up a player he could exploit, and he's got Clark. So now he's got Dusty. So Dusty's gone forward now. We'll take him. So got to keep Stewart as occupied as possible. But they're winning the midfield battle here, Geelong, and that forward line looks so potent.
Lovely bounce in the middle of the ground, and a Shepherd in the ruck, and it's a Geelong free kick, and Selwood plays onto advantage. Skids a kick inside the 50. Broad playing in front. Socketed away from Henry. Cam Guthrie nudged off it by Bolton. Bolton comes up with it. Hand pass to Prestia through the corridor by hand to Graham. Off to Nankervis. He kicks to the southern wing, but there's no one there for Richmond except Martin, who charges forward. Knocked it away from Tui. Takes possession from the centre of the southern wing. His kick is knocked down by Atkins and socket away. Brilliantly played. He just got a toe to it. Tui, though, couldn't maintain possession. Graham comes up with it, uses Martin on the wing.
He goes short and gets McIntosh, wants to go, bangs it up inside the 50. De Koning, he played the ball on its merits, he knocked it down. Stewart was there. He goes out wide. Jeremy Cameron a long way from home. He's able to gather. Wants to give the handball back to Stewart. Stewart now kicks it back to the southern wing for the Cats. Henry in the mix here, couldn't take the mark. Flosstone there as well. Cam Guthrie gets the handball to Stengel, to Duncan. They're away again here, the Cats. Duncan kicks it inside the 50. Hawkins, can he get there? Tarrant got a spoil in. Knocked it to the boundary line. It's over and out. And we'll have a throw in 30 metres around from the Cats' goal.
Oh, great transition, not just on this occasion, but a number of times in this game early. But, they're not renowned as a super quick side, but they're moving the ball well.
Boundary throw in. Cats deep in attack. It's 25 metres from goal. Left forward pocket. Hawkins in front. Ball gets past him. Flostone took it. Caught by Cam Guthrie. Holding the ball. A shot at goal coming up. 40 out directly in front.
Cats Shorey against the Western Bulldogs a few weeks ago on a Friday night, and you could just see right from the start they were right on. How good do they look at the moment?
Oh, unbelievable. And the other thing, I don't know, Tarrant up against Hawkins at the ruck work, that's going to be an issue right through this game.
Guthrie's gone back inside the centre square to take his shot towards the end of the MCG. The Cats have two. This to make it a blistering start. From 50, right foot drop punts. Umpire moves a little away to the right. It is a behind. First blemish, 2-1-13 the Cats. The Tigers are yet to score on the Shell V Power scoreboard. We've been going almost 7 minutes.
He's Broad, bring the ball back into play. A bounce, then went very short to Baker, who takes the mark. Still inside defensive 50. Baker shuffles back over that mark. He's going to head to the southern wing with the kick. He goes out searching that time for a teammate, thumped away by Blitzarves, who got there, and it's over and out for a throw-in.
Blitzarves into the ruck now.
Lovely conditions thanks to the Watchdog app. Download the Watchdog app to see vision of every Victorian Greyhound race live and free. Cats by 13-0 in fact. Ball thrown back into play. Cam Guthrie able to reef it out. Handball wide, looking that time for Duncan, and the boundary line was right there. Back over again. We'll have a throw in. It's forward of the wing favouring the Cats. It's 2-1-13 Geelong. No score Richmond.
I reckon De Koning's athleticism has troubled Lynch on the 2 times it's gone in there. So Lynch is so concerned about where De Koning is. That's not what you want to do as a forward. You want to attack the ball hard, but he's a worry to play on De Koning.
Now Curvis wins it down against Blitzarves. Martin underneath it. He's knocked off it by Zach Guthrie. They pile in from all angles. And the umpire says holding the ball. Yes, man on the bottom of the pack has been pinged. That man is Dustin Martin.
They've got to pay that more in the game just to, stop blokes jumping on the ball.
Cats come away. Duncan kicks to left half forward. Blitzarves mark 60 from goal. Cameron's the deep target at the top of the goal square. Hand pass came away. The Cats work it by hand. Duncan's sizzling kick inside 50. Cut off by Nankervis, off to McIntosh, off to Short, scrubby kick out to the members, wing will work out, Lynch takes possession.
He does, he's got a runner, he gives the handball to Pickett. Pickett was hemmed in, he goes short, Morris only can't take it. Gathered by O'Connor, he was able to get out of the tackle, get a handball away, Hughes twisting and turning. Handball Menegola, off a step, kicks to left half forward, a wide ball though, thumped away by Broad. Comes down to Jeremy Cameron. Handball to Cam Guthrie, to Zach Tui, quickly onto the boot. It'll bounce inside the 50. It's a chaos ball. Taken by Henry on the bounce. Couldn't execute the kick properly. McIntosh is back there, and a short one to Tarrant. Should be able to clear here for the Tigers.
His low pass out of defence hits the chest of Grimes at left half back, squaring ball to defensive 50 to Short, and he kicks to centre half back. Ross kicks to McIntosh, attacked it hard and kept on running. A bounce through the corridor. A dink kick out to the southern wing, marked by Flostone. He holds it up. Comes back towards the corridor, so they're changing the angles here, the Tigers. Daniel Rioli from the edge of the centre square, kicks in the Bolton direction. De Koning worked his way to the front but didn't complete the mark. He gives a hand pass to Cameron, who's flattened by Pickett. Out to Prestia it comes. He goes towards Rewald, got one hand to it, couldn't mark. Stewart for Geelong, top of the goal square. Hand pass off to Zach Guthrie, off to Tui, near the boundary, kicks to half-back, and Cameron soars and takes a fine defensive mark.
Looks so good defensively, Geelong. Richmond, as Nico just said, they're trying to kick the 45s, open up the corridor, but Geelong are just set up really well.
Beautiful kick by Cameron. It's a great field kick to O'Connor, who goes short to Stengel. They get it to the members' wing. Short again to Hawkins, fair way up the ground. As he looks inside the 50. Nothing he likes straight away, so he backs back over his mark. He's going to go very short again. Menegola, next link in the chain. I reckon he's going to let Britton put it inside the 50. He does. Who's there to take it? There's no one for Geelong, and it was easy fodder in the end for Grimes, who got back defensively, took the mark for the Tigers.
Grimes goes looking for Martin, who marks at right half back. Shane Warnstand side of the MCG. Martin plays on. Kicks towards Lynch, but Blitzarves stood his ground in front and took the intercept mark for the Cats. He looks to the corridor. Menegola is screaming
is
for
he
it.
what?
But still, Blitzarves won't be lured into that kick. He goes long around the wing on the outer side of the ground, and in the pack, Henry, who's made a fine start to this match.
Yeah, well, this could be the move of the century, the way this is looking.
Isaac Smith drifting deep forward. He goes short, though. Duncan, left half forward, still 70 metres from goal.
So what can Duncan do? He kept it low inside the 50. Cameron was up, couldn't take the mark. Ground little ball to be won. McIntosh can't take it cleanly. Atkins attack. He was wrapped up by Prestia. He got the handball out. Broad now, hands and knees. Handball, Prestia, looping handball over the top. Flostar. Now Daniel Rioli crossing defensive 50. Looks to the southern wing. That's where he heads. It's all Geelong though. And it's Stewart, Tom Stewart, taking the mark confidently on the wing for the Cats.
Owning the early stages, Geelong. Stewart plays on and thrusts them deep forward again to full forward. Nankervis in the pack, had it slip through his hands. Smith to Myers, by hand to Hawkins, took them on, gone. Holding the ball. Free kick, Flostone in the right back pocket. He switches to left half back. Broad didn't break stride as he ran with the flight of the ball and marked on his chest.
11 inside 50s to 4. This is just a total dominance by Geelong. They've got to score though. Haven't done enough on the scoreboard at this stage of the game, I don't think.
And clearance is 5-0 in favour of Geelong as well.
So Prestia has the football for the Tigers left half back, kicking to the members wing. A high ball. Stewart comes from 3 back. There was a push there, free kick Cats.
Oh, paid the advantage and pulled it back.
So going to come back to Kolajasny, who's got it on the logo, members side, brings it into the corridor. Taken by Duncan. Pretty much through centre half back. Short to Graham Myers. He wants to go with that unorthodox kicking style. He goes back out wide to Stanley. Stanley, a short one into Selwood. Worked hard to get there. Got a shove. And
it's not 50.
The umpire, no, it's going to go to the corridor now to Duncan again. Duncan now puts it inside the 50. Close was there, couldn't take the mark. Clean bowled Henry. Grimes get back to clean up for Richmond. He's able to collect it, and then his kick was beautiful and gets Dusty at half back.
He's got overlap run. He feeds a hand pass to Rioli. A floating 20-metre hand pass to Bolton. A bounce, a second, runs to 50, and he finds Morris Rioli, who runs into the open goal and puts it through. Glorious transition football from Richmond. And it all started with the Grimes precision kick. Superb play. Richmond's first at the 13-minute mark of the first quarter. Geelong 2-1-13. The Tigers 1 straight on the Shell V-Power scoreboard.
Was it Grimes the first?
Yeah, great kick.
It just shows what you have to do to break down this Geelong defence. They're just so well organised. They're so well drilled. They're experienced. And they've been stifled a fair bit. So marks are even, 18 apiece in both teams. But it's the first entry that's looked like it for Richmond. They haven't looked like scoring because they've been so settled behind the ball with Blitzarves and De Koning and these types, Tom Stewart. So that's Richmond at their best, how they just created that goal through the corridor with being bold with their disposal. It's a great game, 2 different styles, both holding up pretty well.
3W footy thanks to Maccas. 2-1-13 Cats, 1 straight 6 Richmond. Their first goal on the board. Free kick Geelong. Stanley to take it. Hands to Cam Guthrie. Guthrie now will pump it inside the 50 for the Cats. Who's there to take it? Oh, great mark. Jeremy Cameron going back with a flight of the footy. That was outstanding. And he brings down a ripper, a mark of the day thanks to Foodworks. Shop local and save at your neighbourhood Foodworks.
Gee, you love to see it. There was a bit of Royce Hart in that, how Royce used to mark the ball for the Tigers, because a lot of players only come straight at the ball or try and go backwards. To see that come from the side mark, it's so difficult to defend.
He was gliding, wasn't he, Jeremy Cameron? And now kicking from 45. He's a beautiful kick usually, and he kicks that one. So quick reply from Geelong, and they go to 3-1-19. Richmond 1 straight 6, 15-minute mark of the opening quarter. Such a dangerous forward line, Lordy, when it goes inside 50 Geelong.
It is, and Dylan Grimes went off, so Rioli kicked the goal, and he came off for a spell. And the moment he comes off, Jeremy Cameron takes that mark. So I don't think there's another matchup out there. I think it was Broad who had him for that period, and he just couldn't handle it. So I just wonder how often Jeremy comes off the ground and that you'd say to Dylan,
just go head to head.
Yeah, head to head. When he comes off, you come off.
Fitness.
It's because I just don't think. Look at it now. Is it Broad? I just don't think it's a good matchup.
Nah, you got to. I'm with you. You got to go with Grimes and say, see it out, son. If he comes to the bench, just follow him in his shoes. That's all.
So Jack Rewalt's gone into the ruck for Richmond, opposed to Stanley. Atkins gets a hold of it, hacks a kick around his body to centre half forward. Holmes almost took the mark on his chest. Daniel Rioli takes possession. Selwood gets a hold of him and drags him down 45 metres from goal. Will have a ball up.
I reckon Broad would be given away, I don't know, 3 inches in the hole by the looks of it.
Tossed in the air. Stanley's clear win. Knocked away by Short, but Selwood took it. He's tackled. Spills to Daniel Rioli. Off to Baker. Clears defensive 50 to the southern side. Zach Guthrie coming one way. Lynch the other. Takes possession for Richmond. Infield hand pass to Clark. A bounce. He's got support. Graham to within 60. Squaring ball. Rewalt, Ruckman and Keith Ford. He's doing it all, but he couldn't complete the mark. The Tigers still a chance. Graham farms it out. Pickett to Bolton. Top of the 50. Off to Ralph Smith. 52 out, thumps it all the way to the teeth of goal. Lynch the target, rises and clogs it against 2 Cats. A towering mark at the top of the goal square.
He had Guthrie then, didn't he? He had Guthrie. DeConning tried to come back and make a hit out of it, but that was just not a bad matchup. It would have happened because they moved the ball so quick.
Tom Lynch be used to looking up and seeing the Richmond cheer squad at the punt road end. This being a Geelong home game, he's got a sea of blue and white to bang the ball into, and that's exactly what he does for the Tigers' second. 3-1-19 Geelong, Richmond 2 straight at the 17-minute mark of the first quarter. Matthew Lloyd and Tony Shaw.
Well, they've settled a little bit here, Richmond, so it's still an issue is the clearance. So Geelong are up 7-1. And dominating around the centre bounce, but their backline's held up really well. So Tarrant, at this point, we haven't seen Hawkins do too much. That's a real positive for them. Henry has looked lively, Cameron's looked lively, but once they can get that ball, break that first line of defence of Geelong, they look so dangerous with their run and overlap here, Richmond, and that's going to be an issue for Geelong. I think that's the worry for them as this day unfolds.
Gee, great game early doors, isn't it, this one? 3-1-19, the Cats, 2 straight 12, Richmond. And we're sitting at the 18-minute mark of the opening quarter. 3AW footy thanks to Maccas. Stanley lost his footing, but was still able to knock it down. Went straight to Ross, though, of Richmond, who puts it inside the 50. A wide ball out comes to Kearney. Attacks that beautifully at ground level. Gives the handball to Menegola. Didn't give it back to Kearney. Was able to execute the kick, though. A wide one. Baker busting a gut to get there. He's able to gather before it went out. He wants to give it by Ross by hand. He does. He gives to Ralph Smith. Down the line. Low ball, Graham. He couldn't complete the mark. Prestia knocks it on. Picked up to half forward. Rewalt.
Oh, Lynch.
55 out from goal. He turns. He goes. Tom Lynch in the box. Oh, he spills it. He spills the beans. Taylor made for him. He'll get it back, Lynch. His kick was smothered. Comes to ground. Chance for Morris Rioli. He can't gather. In comes Shea Bolton. He snaps.
Oh, boy.
And he misses way off. He misses everything out of bounds on the full, but that was an absolute soda for Tom Lynch. Missed there. Free kick, Cats.
It reminded me of Jack Darling's drop in the grand final.
Gee.
That was his...
He was kicking it before he had it.
Yeah.
That's what happens there. Gee, that was a beautiful kick by Jack Rewalt. The vision to see him running backwards.
Stewart in the right back pocket for Geelong down at the punt road end. Kicks to the half-back flank. Henry in front of the pack has to rise. Belted away by Grimes. About 20 metres he gained, but straight to O'Connor. Off to Cam Guthrie. Now O'Connor's been pushed after he got rid of it. Play goes on to advantage. Cameron to Buse. Buse to the southern side of the ground to defensive 50 and Zach Guthrie. A casual bounce. He runs to the defensive side of the wing and launches it in the Hawkins direction. He used his body on Tarrant but couldn't complete the mark, and now he's got a problem. He picked it up. He was immediately tackled. Little Baker has felled a giant tree there. He's pulled him down. A ball up on the outer side.
Yeah, well done to Tarrant there, because Jack had the back position, which is really dangerous against him.
Good ruck work that time by Hawkins again. Down to Selwood. He couldn't get a clear handball out. Numbers here with the Cats. They'll force a stoppage and the umpire will come in and ball it up. Kick and a half out from Geelong's goal out on the southern side. 3-1-19 Cats, 2 straight 12 Richmond, 3AW footy thanks to Maccas. Great contest at the home of footy. Ross, handball to Edwards. Edwards, long searching handball out to the path of Prestia. Knocked it on, and Prestia was felled.
By Tom Stewart.
And out. Tom Stewart got him. He hasn't moved.
I reckon he's been reported, Tom Stewart.
He has not moved, Prestia. He's starting to move now. That was a big collision. We'll have to look at the replay.
But he's out.
He's
done.
out.
Yeah.
He's Dunsky.
So
Gonski.
that would be a big out for Richmond. Prestia is
I thought it looked a little bit like an accidental hit, but if anything head high, you're going to go.
Yep, we'll check the replay. Grimes has got it in the meantime at half back.
His low kick to the wing is well read by Close, who gets in front of Nankervis and takes the mark.
You've got to stop the play. You have to stop it.
Prestia is trying to get onto his knees, only 15 metres away from where the ball went whizzing by, and Hawkins marked and kicks inside 50. Cam Guthrie took the mark and ran down the curator's race. See you later, Cam. Might come back with a mower.
Gee, yeah, I thought you had to stop the play. That was too close to the play. No, he's gone.
Yeah.
You got to just call the stretcher, boys, or they're trying to walk him off, so they'll have 20
Squaring
minutes.
ball as play goes on, Tony. Picked up inside the attacking 50. Shovelled out by Atkins, but too late. He was caught by Jack Brewald. A free kick to Richmond is out on the outer side. Dion Prestia is on his feet, but he needs help to stay on them.
Pickup will get a free kick here. Pushed in the marking contest by Blitzarve. Score check 3-1-19. Geelong 2 straight 12. Richmond Prestia
Can hardly walk.
Yep,
That's
being helped off the ground all the way from the southern side. So it'll take a while to get here to the bench. Stewart. Handball to Duncan. Back to Tom Stewart. Gets boot the ball. Down the members' wing he goes again. Brian Myers couldn't take it. Close. Handball, a bit too fierce that time for Stanley. Atkins makes it good though. Handball to Close. He kicks it inside the 50. Stengel
dropped it.
slides in. Umpire says play on. Gets to his feet. Snaps and he has kicked it. Outstanding work by Tyson Stengel. He didn't take the mark, but he was cat-like, if you don't mind, jumping to his feet and kicking the goal for Geelong. And they get their fourth, 4-1-25. And Richmond at 2-0-12, 22-minute mark of the opening quarter as Prestia Shuri comes from the ground.
Well, he comes from the ground and he's running off, but I don't think you won't see him again today. There's no doubt that it looked like he got knocked out or semi-conscious out on the wing. Now, what's happened? Oh, gee, I reckon Stewart might be in a bit of trouble here. One for the head high, but he did go past the ball when it got a tap. He's gone. That's about a 2 or 3-er.
Yep.
From my thinking in the game. And
Well, is the impact severe or high, do you think?
Oh, it's high, severe.
If
and
it's severe, it's tribunal.
Yeah, it's severe. Well, it has to be severe. He got knocked out.
Yeah. No, that was just crude.
Yeah, he went past the ball, didn't he?
Past the ball, yep.
You don't see that much, do
No.
you, Lloyd?
No.
Well, crazy to think that we've only just seen Dion Prestia go down the race into the rooms as play went on around him. Geelong clearance. Flostone dives at it. On the half-back flank, couldn't mark. Pickett's hand pass straight to Close, who gives to Selwood. Henry all alone at the top of the square. Massive
What about that
collision.
courage?
Tarrant back with a flight. He's been ironed out. Flat on his back. He might be just about knocked out as well. The ball goes into the pocket. This is being played at a ferocious pace. It is like a final. There are bodies going to ground left, right and centre. Tarrant has got back up.
And Cameron helped him up.
Yeah,
Goodness me. Boundary throw in left forward pocket. Cats in attack and leading by 13.
Great sportsmanship, Jeremy Cameron.
Bit of respect, isn't it, for what he did?
He's seeing stars too, Tarrant, so he'll come to the bench, you would think. Nankervis wins it clean out of the ruck, taken by Selwood, gives it to Isaac Smith, blasts it onto the boot for goal, but missing to the left-hand side. And a minor score, so you would think he would have to come to the bench, Tarrant, and get a concussion test at least. 4-2-26 Geelong. 2 straight 12 Richmond, 24-minute mark of the first. Just take us through what Tarrant did, Lloydie, that you love so much.
So Jack Henry was in the goal square, all set to take a mark, and he just put his head down and you just ran where you don't want to go. Tarrant went back with the flight of the ball. Brilliant. Saved a certain goal.
Flostone to the pack on the back flank. Off hands comes to McIntosh to Ralph Smith. Tumble punt through the pack. Stewart comes to meet it. He's the villain at the MCGs. His kick goes inside 50. No mark taken. Richmond emerges. Daniel Rioli, his hand pass. Picked up on the bounce by Baker. Left foot kick out of defence. A skidder towards the members' wing. Gets past Shane Edwards. Taken by Smith. Gave to Duncan. A hand pass back to Smith. He's near the interchange. He can drive Geelong forward on that trusty left boot in the Hawkins direction. Tarrant is there. Flossstone gets across the front of the pack and marks.
Tarrant's all right too, boys. He's up and running around. I don't think you'll need a test here.
Cats by 14. Dustin Martin takes it through centre half back. Comes to Graham. Dusty kept on running. He wants it back. He's got it now, Dustin Martin. Thought about the handball. He'll go with a kick though. A low sizzler inside the 50. And Kitkus was tackled, lost it, got the handball out. Dustin Martin is back there again.
That's ball.
Oh, he's been tackled a second time. Great work, Colin Jasny, to just keep the pressure up. And Colin Jasny's been rewarded with the free kick. And it goes out wide to Isaac Smith, who's got it on the southern side. Hands to Zach Guthrie.
His low kick in the Cameron direction. Goes through his hands. He really should have marked it. Cameron Guthrie takes possession near the boundary. Hand pass off to Cameron. He's dumped as he kicked. He was outside the boundary line when he did so. It's going to come back. Hawkins is marked inside the 50. Thinks he's going to get a shot.
He don't know what's going on.
The ball has to go back for a throw-in. Now, this is where it becomes interesting with the Soldo decision to have Soldo as the medical sub. He'll be the one who replaces Dion Prestia, who cannot possibly return.
Yeah, we'll make him a bit slow because I reckon Tommy Lynch is struggling already with the Koning's ability at ground level and in the air.
14-point lead in favour of the Cats. Ball thrown back in. Cam Guthrie, hands and knees. Got the handball up. Stanley just knocked it on. That was beautiful. Stingle now. He can straighten up. He might go for goal round the corner and kicks it. He's such a great finisher, Tyson Stingle. That's an outstanding goal. Goal of the day thanks to Sheen Panel Service. Had a car accident called Sheen first. 1-300 repair. And he is deadly when he gets an opportunity. Tyson Stingle, 5-2-32 the Cats. 2 straight, 12 Richmond. 27-minute mark of the opening term.
I tell you what, you don't have to grab the ball to be a smart player. And I'm just trying to pick up the Geelong player who tapped this out. He fumbled. I think it was...
Stanley, it was. Yeah.
Oh, Stanley, just smart play. He knew Stingle was outside the corridor. And instead of grabbing it, fumbled, tapped it out into his space. And as you said, a great finisher, Matty. So this game's had a fair bit in it in the first quarter. I hope it's going to keep getting better.
This has been as good a quarter as I've seen probably from a team this year. That's how good Geelong have been, in my opinion. 20 inside 50s to 8. And their pressure has been huge. You saw Dustin Martin get stripped. They're doing it both ways, Geelong, offensively and defensively as well.
Nankervis to tap down. Cam Guthrie takes possession, ripped away by Atkins because Graham had latched onto Guthrie, but the umpire had already called for it. Throws it in the air. Nankervis the tap. Taken by Ross, gives to Nankervis. Left foot wobbler towards half forward. O'Connor couldn't take the mark, opposed to Edwards. Knocked away by Duncan, but straight to Marlon Pickett. Off to Martin. Martin, left foot kick to the edge of 50. And that just landed on the line. At the juncture of the boundary and the 50, as Colin Jasny tries to coax the umpire into giving him a free kick. The ump says, how about I throw it back in? Left half forward for Richmond.
Cats by 20. So 50 around from Richmond's goal. Members side of the MCG. Stanley wins it decisively. Ross to Bolton. Bolton got rid of Atkins with a don't argue. And then inside the 50 he goes. Gee, I think Gipkus was up. Got certainly hands to it. Didn't drag it down. It's out now. And we're going to have a throw in 30 around from Richmond's goal. Got high, Gipkus, didn't he?
Got some athletic ability.
And they might need another option down there just to try and stretch this Geelong defence. And Gipkus could be the answer.
Ball will be tossed back in. Big neck the tank and Stanley tangle again. And Curvis got the better of it. Comes to Dustin Martin. Handball out and he just hacked it with his boot. Comes to McIntosh. Handball to Ross. Ross goes very wide out to Clark. And Clark takes the mark. Judson Clark. He's 48 metres out, 45-degree angle. The young man will go back and line up.
Gee, I reckon we're seeing some of the smarts of football like... who was that there? McIntosh. If he grabbed the ball, he's going to be tackled, but he just taps it. He knows what's around him, and this is about smart players who have been, played in big finals and know what to do under pressure.
Judson Clark, the third gamer, kicked a couple in his first game of AFL football. Let's see what he can do here. Pretty tough for the young man. He's going to kick from just on the 50 for goal, and that's way off. It's out of bounds on the full, and that is quarter time. In what has been a ripping opening quarter, and Matthew Lloyd saying the best quarter he's seen from any club this year. The Cats, 5-2-32, they lead Richmond 2 straight 12. The goal kickers, Tyson Stengel has 2, Jeremy Cameron has 1, Jack Henry has 1, Mark Blitzarves with 1. And for the Tigers, Tom Lynch with a goal and Morris Rioli with a goal as well. And Tom Stewart with a problem because he bumped Prestia high, and Prestia is, you would think, out of the game, and he's got a bit to answer for there, Tom Stewart. So he might be spending some time on the sidelines, Lloydie.
Just on that, a lot of players are going over and consoling him, so he seems quite upset with what he's done, and he tried to get over to Dion Prestia 2 or 3 times, and when Prestia came off, he tried, but Prestia wasn't in a position to speak or answer to him. But it's interesting to see how he goes for the rest of the day, because he's had a lot of senior players going over to him, probably saying it's happened. Yep. Just try and get on with it. But he's really, really upset. Earlier
today, the Blues by 31 over the Dockers. Quarter time at the MCG, and it's the Cats by 20 points. They are 5-2-32. Richmond are 2 straight 12. For Macca's, 3AW is football.
It's value the Australian way at Coles with great fresh specials this week. Like delicious gold sweet potatoes, 100% Aussie and just $2 a kilo. This week at Coles. Offer ends Thursday.
Mum?
Yes?
I scratched the car.
Let me rub it with my sleeve. Good as new.
If only dealing with a prang was as easy as QBE car insurance. Easy to understand before you buy and easy to manage after. Plus, get $75 off when you buy a new comprehensive cover online. QBE Insurance, there for you before and after.
Car insurance is issued by QBE Insurance Australia Limited. See qbe.com/au for eligibility criteria, the PDS and TMD to decide if this product is right for you.
Travel is back. Whether it is for business or leisure, nothing beats the Melbourne Airport premium parking experience. We understand that your time is precious, so don't waste a moment. For absolute convenience, Melbourne Airport's premium parking is only a few moments' walk to the check-in counter. Choose from valet parking or premium self-park. Wherever you are flying, Melbourne Airport offers travellers the ultimate parking experience. Park the hassle. Book online at melbourneairport.com.au.
We all like open plan designs, but sometimes wouldn't it be nice to zone off areas for a home theatre, study area, or an occasional bedroom? Come and see Zone Living Solutions at a Doors Plus near you. Doors Plus? No fuss.
Do you want to really love your driving job? Would you like to make a difference to the lives of others every day? Right now, Smartways is looking for experienced owner drivers to join our dedicated healthcare fleet. With every delivery, you'll be improving the lives of patients and their families, and be rewarded with great hourly rates, consistent work, and you'll be surrounded by a bunch of great people. So if you want to do more than just a job, Google Smartways and apply online today.
How do you set yourself up for a great day? Is it getting up at the crack of dawn? Or squeezing in that morning fitness routine? Fact is, a great day starts the night before. And it starts with a new Sealy Posturepedic mattress. Featuring the latest innovation, backed by orthopedic research and proudly handcrafted right here in Australia. Visit your leading bedding retailer now to experience a new Sealy Posturepedic for yourself and wake up ready to take on the day on Australia's #1 selling mattress, Sealy Posturepedic.
We should all save 000 calls and ambulances for emergencies because there are alternatives. If you feel unwell or have a minor injury, there's your local GP. You can see a pharmacist for questions on general health, and you can always ring Nurse on Call at 1300 606024 for immediate advice 24/7. So think about how you can help save lives by saving 000 calls for emergencies. Find out more at betterhealth.vic.gov.au.
Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
3AW footy highlights.
Doesn't have the penetration, but Blitzarves takes a wonderful mark. He's going to use his left and bend it through. Opening goal to the Cats.
Henry was the target, bypassed him. Hawkins will end up with a handball to Henry. Kept on running, steps inside the 50. Gonna have a crack at goal, Henry, and put it through.
20-metre hand pass to Bolton. A bounce, a second, runs to 50, and he finds Morris Rioli, who runs into the open goal and puts it through. Glorious transition football from Richmond.
Stengel now, he can straighten up. He might go for goal round the corner and kicks it. He's such a great finisher, Tyson Stengel. That's an outstanding goal 20 points the margin in favour of the Cats at quarter time as we welcome you back to the MCG. As Bill Laurie would say, it's all happening. 5-2-32, the Cats. Richmond 2 straight 12. Before we talk about the game itself, Lloydie and Shorey, let's talk about the big incident from the first quarter, Nico. And we've been having a look at the match review table, and for those who have just joined us, Tom Stewart running past the ball and bumping Dion Prestia high. It appears he is out of the game. Was dazed, certainly didn't move for a few seconds. What is Tom Stewart looking at as a penalty?
I would say an absolute best case scenario for him would be 3 weeks, Matty, but it looks highly likely that he is going to be sent straight to the tribunal. So if the conduct is determined as intentional, we all agree that the contact is high. If it's severe, 4+ matches and goes to the tribunal. If it's intentional and high, 3 matches. If it's deemed as careless and severe, he'll get 3 matches and go to the tribunal. If it's careless and high, he would get 2 matches. But he's knocked Dion Prestia out cold.
Yeah.
So
it's a big penalty coming his way.
Is it severe? Is it high? I mean, I think they would try and argue that it wasn't intentional.
And exactly. They'll say it's careless, which
he chose to bump.
Yeah, I know, but you can... it can be careless to choose to bump, if you get what I mean. I think it's a 3. I reckon it's a 3. I don't think he'll get any less.
And he looked rattled, didn't he?
Yeah, everyone's had to get to him. The coach spent a lot of time with him. I've never seen a player so visibly distraught. I don't know if he's ever been reported before at AFL level, so it's not like him, uncharacteristic. So we'll see how he goes for the rest of the day, because he is quite upset.
20-point margin in favour of the Cats, and they get the quick takeaway from the middle as Selwood sends it to half forward, but Flostone rolls into the mark and takes it for the Tigers. Looked out to the southern side, and who come to the members' side for Ralph Smith, who brings down the Sharon. So Ralph Smith at right half back. Holds onto it for a while. The umpire tells him to go, so he darts away with the footy and kicks it to half forward. Tom Stewart will fly that time. He knocks it down. O'Connor to Selwood, who goes wide to Buse, to Tom Stewart. Gets the boos and the hoots from the Richmond fans. Back away to Buse as Dustin Martin is pursuing him, won't get him. Buse gets boot to ball down the line. Grimes got a good spoiling on Blitzarves. Ralph Smith scrambles for it at ground level. Daniel Rioli gives it to Pickett. He's been tackled by Buse and the ball is dislodged to Atkins, to Blitzarves. He tumbles one to half forward, ends up with Stengel, who gives it to Blitzarves, who gives to Cam Guthrie. He steps inside the 50. He's going to give the pass off, and Henry was the target.
Goal, son.
And coming the other way was Soldo, it looks like, and he will take it. Got some high contact and free kick Richmond deep in defence.
So Soldo, who came on as the medical sub for Dion Prestia, hardly a like for like. He goes to Broad in the left back pocket. His kick to half back went through the hands of McIntosh, who then took Menegola high, compounding his mistake. Menegola 60 from goal. Low kick to Cameron, all on his own. How on earth did Jeremy Cameron escape and find himself free 40 metres out, almost directly in front?
Well, Grimes was in a contest on this wing, so it's the opposite wing, and he just didn't get back quick enough. But in the changeover, it looked like Broad had that matchup and, just didn't go to him.
To give Geelong a 26-point lead. Cameron's already kicked 1. It's a beautiful action, and the result is perfect for the purring Cats. 6-2-38 Geelong. Richmond 2 straight 12 through 2 minutes of the second quarter, which is brought to you by Robot Building Supplies.
Yeah, it's going to be tough here for the Tigers. Already 26 points down in this game, and no Dion Prestia. Just having a look now at what they do. Shea Bolton, who they prefer probably on the half-forward line, he's had to come in and join the rotation. Already Jack Ross is getting more midfield inside time than he'd normally get. So I look at Jaden Short. He's just had the 4 touches. Baker, he's had a few more than that, but they're the players that need to lift for Richmond. They need more from Shane Edwards, 5 touches, Baker 5 touches, so really up against it now.
I reckon Shea Bolton should have been in midfield anyway for a long time. They took him out and put him as a forward. You can be starved of opportunities as a small forward.
Cats up by 26, restart back in the middle.
This
Soldo
is an area
it down. Here's Selwood again. Gives the handball to Cam Guthrie. He goes to half forward with the kick. Wasn't his greatest. Ralph Smith gets back there. Land in the hands of Hawkins. Hawkins on the left. He goes into the forward pocket for Henry Broad. He makes a spoil, and then Grimes walks it over and concedes a behind. So Cats to 6-3, 39. Tigers 2 straight 12, 3 minutes in, second quarter.
Short pass in to Flostone. He goes to right half back and Broad in front of the Olympic stand. Defensive 50 for Richmond. Broad looks laterally, not much there. Ross gives a short lead. That's where the kick goes. Hawkins almost intercepted. He has been able to force it to ground level. 50 out. Atkins squaring ball, and Cameron's on his own again at centre half forward. He's 47 metres out straight in front.
Just they're panicking under this pressure. Yep. This pressure's enormous from Geelong, and 24-9 inside 50s now.
Jeremy Cameron kicked 6 against the Tigers in round 8 last season. This for his third from just outside 50. It's not going to be a goal. It's just away to the left. And a 28-point lead to Geelong at the 4-minute mark of the second.
They've got to change their centre bounce, Richmond. It's 7-1 clearances out of the centre bounce now. That's just a shellacking.
Flostone, ball back into play to Grimes, who takes it at right half back. Presty is such a big out in that area. He had career-high 13 clearances last week, Dion Prestia. So he's almost their engine room, isn't he?
Yeah, but you've got to do something about it, Matty. You can't just be sitting back and getting beaten because of it.
Grimes' kick is going to be taken uncontested by Zach Guthrie, who laterally goes to Duncan. He feeds Kolajasny, who takes it off balance, kicks it inside the 50. As a result, he's turned it over, and McIntosh takes it at centre half back for Richmond.
Goes out wide to the Shane Warne stand side of the MCG. Daniel Rioli marks. Chips to the centre of the wing, and Tarrant over the top to Flostone. Flostone on the outer wing, brings it back towards the corridor to McIntosh. Still 2 long kicks from goal for Richmond. Lynch wants it in deep. McIntosh goes to thump it in long. It's a wobbler in front. Riewoldt got a hand to it, couldn't mark. Zach Guthrie took possession. He's caught by Edwards, and a ball up 25 metres from the Richmond goal, and how desperately they need one.
And they need more from Dustin Martin too. Just one contested possession, 8 touches for the game.
Here's Clark trying to blast his way through, stopped in his tracks, and the umpire will come in and ball it up again, 35 metres out from Richmond's goal. For the City and the Tigers in the second quarter, Soldo just flicked it over his head. Clark picks it up again, Cam Guthrie right with him. Nice work to Koenig. Handball to Duncan. He kicks it short, and Joel Selwood takes the mark at right half back, the Cat skipper. He rolls on to Minagola, who's just settled well back into this team. First game back last week against West Coast. And he takes it backward of that southern wing. Sells the dummy on McIntosh, then sends it up the line, and it's going to be Tarrant to lead Hawkins to the footy, and Tarrant takes the mark for the Tigers.
He's got his right hand bandaged from where he had a plate put in his knuckle during the week, and he's turned it over to the wing, and Duncan takes the mark for the Cats. Duncan to the edge of the centre square. Selwood. He's got Tui all on his own on the members' side. That's ignored. So he's going to trot forward. Kick goes in the Myers direction. Bolton had his head ripped off after he knocked the ball away from Myers. That had a bit of venom in it.
Richmond have got to be careful here. You turn it over if you... I tell you what, he was unlucky, Cameron, for that not to be turned over straight away.
Jeremy Cameron's been felled after taking out Bolton at centre half back. It's a free kick to Richmond. There is feeling in this game. It has been a highly physical affair. Bolton plays on. He's in the background. Cameron's still going at it.
Well, he's got every right to. He's got every right to, Al, because Marley and Pickett just went straight at him while he was on the ground. You've got to stand up for yourself, but this is all happening here.
Stewart intercepted, went to Holmes, who kicks down the corridor to Hawkins. He wheels and goes and dumps it into the pocket to Cam. Guthrie in the pack, rises, can't pull in the mark. Knocked out the side. Broad crashes in, did well not to take the leg of Myers.
That's ball.
And he's over it now and in trouble, and you're right, Tony Short. It gets worse and worse for Richmond. Brian Myers wins a holding the ball free kick, 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle to the right.
I think we need to play this. This was a definite free kick. When the player dives on the ball, can't get the ball out, that's got to be paid more so we can clear the clearances and stop so many as congested footballers we've had.
Brian Myers for Geelong's second in this second term. to heap more pain on the Tigers. He drives it through. Some statement being made by Geelong at the MCG. 7-4-46 to 2 straight 12 at the 8-minute mark of the second quarter on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
And they've lost Dion Prestia, as we all know, and the runner has just come out to Robbie Tarrant and said, you need to come off too. Come off now. So he's gone straight down to the race. So you just wonder whether it could be a delayed concussion or just checking him out too. So just 3 on the bench at the moment for Richmond.
Well, usually when a player is felled like Tarrant was in the first quarter, they will take them off, Nico, and have a look at at least have a look at the footage, and 9 times out of 10 give a concussion test.
Let me tell you, boys, there was a little bit with this Marlon Pickett and Cameron, the hands in the eyes, just around the eye area from Cameron to Marlon Pickett. Okay. You'll see the replay a bit later. Just thought, gee whiz.
Gee, there is Philly in this game. We're back in the middle. Blitzarves will come galloping out with the Sharon.
Another
and he
bounce.
gets the kick inside the 50 where Broad was able to get away from Stengel and take the defensive mark for Richmond. He goes sideways. Gibcus, Daniel Rioli. He'll kick to the members' wing. It's a poor kick straight down the throat of O'Connor, who takes the mark.
The way this match is going, it'll fill the back 8 pages of the paper tomorrow, and probably the front 3 as well, and maybe even find its way into the court proceedings the way it's going in the middle of the paper. Kick goes towards half forward. Henry takes the mark for Geelong. He moves it quickly. He dumps it in towards the top of the goal square. Holmes flies, can't take it. Grimes knocked off it by Stengel. It comes to the back of the pack. Holmes gets it. Hand-pass through the pack. He wanted himself. He's caught by Short. Dragged down. Hand-pass into the forward pocket. Running onto it, Smith. Off to Stengel. Left foot snap towards the teeth of goal. Off hands. Play on, said the umpire. Little hand pass came out from Daniel Rioli, and Short clears out to the back flank. Riewoldt one-on-one with Tom Stewart. Holding on against Riewoldt. He is incensed. He rocks his head back in dismay. Does very well not to show dissent in that situation as Stewart takes the free and uses it beautifully onto the chest of Stengel, leading into the right forward pocket. He's got it hard on the boundary, 35 metres out.
Oh, you'd hate to be a backman for Richmond tonight. Under siege, so 29 inside 50s to 10 with still 11 minutes to go in this second quarter. So they just can't get any respite because their midfield is being smashed. Clearance 14 to Geelong, 6 to Richmond.
So he's kicked 3 or more on 7 occasions already this season. Tyson Stengel, what a find for Geelong. This for his 3rd today. Tight angle. Difficult kick. It's across the face of goal. Nankervis rises and belts it through for a minor. And Geelong's lead is 35 points. Richmond with huge problems here. 11-minute mark, second quarter.
Ball back in. McIntosh takes it. He's called the play on. Didn't travel its required distance. Goes short to Flostone, but he's still deep in the back pocket for Richmond. On the southern side of the MCG. Flostone used all his time up. He'll kick it down the line. Geelong well set up, knocked to the front of the pack. Shea Bolton couldn't pick it up cleanly. Graham can. Broad, a handball to Clark, who can't take it cleanly. Good pressure again by Geelong. That time it was Colin Jasny forcing the footy over the boundary line. Throw in between wing and half forward for the Cats.
Gee, they've stifled their run. They just cannot get through the lines. The Cats, just looking back behind play, it's all one-on-one, so they haven't dropped the player off. It's all at the contest.
Boundary throw in. Bolton couldn't take possession. Baker clatters into Smith. It comes Richmond's way. Graham knocked it out to Bolton. Bolton kicks to centre half forward to Koning. Superb use of the body. Outpoints Lynch in the marking contest at centre half back for the Cats. De Koning to Stewart. Just joined us. Stewart knocked out Dion Prestia.
He set his teammate up here.
In the first quarter, and he's going to be missing some football as a result of it.
What's that like, Lordy, that you've been in that position where you've done something, you get booed every time you know you're going to be in trouble? How do you feel out there?
Went with the Brad Saul one. They were coming after me for a lot of that second half, but you just got to keep going at the ball, going hard, don't shy away from it. You've done it. I had the thing like enjoy the next few quarters as much as you can because you know you're not playing again for a period of time. So the booze side of it, you actually get in the zone. You don't actually hear it too much. It's not a huge factor. It's more just probably dealing with the emotions of what you've done previous.
He's short inside the 50. for Richmond. Free kick. It's going to go the way of the Cats.
Conning again. He's got Lynch. He's in Lynch's head at the moment. I never had that problem, Matty. Never got booed in my life.
Oh, you loved it. He might be a bit upset with it, Stuart, but that's how you you thrived on that, sure.
I'm with Lloyd. You don't hear a lot of it.
Here's the coning down the line. Ralph Smith couldn't take it. Vancouver's handball didn't connect properly. Opens it all for Stingle. Clean gather. Outstanding work by Tyson Stingle. He goes long looking for and not finding Graham Myers. Baker picks it up. Handball to Broad. Broad hard up against the boundary line members' side. He got the handball into Daniel Rioli. Looping a handball to short. And that was a vice-like tackle and a fierce tackle from Zach Tui. And forcing the stoppage will have that ball up on the wing with the Cats leading it by 35 on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
Up it goes. Stanley knocked it down, but straight to Ralph Smith on the members' wing near the interchange. Kick around the body to a one-on-one. Buse playing in front of Clark. Got it to ground level to Koenig, sees it out. What did Brad Sewell receive as a Bucks party present from you, Matthew Lloyd?
So Campbell Brown came over to my house and said, can you write this on his jumper for his Bucks? To Brad, I hope you'll last longer on your Bucks day than you did on the MCG against the Bombers.
Boundary throw in. Selwood pursues it at ground level. And Myers got clipped high, so he's going to have a free kick for Geelong. Left half back, looks into the corridor. Low kick, skids its way to Duncan. He's tackled by Daniel Rioli in the back.
Now it's changed. What's happening now? Richmond are just trying to get physical, but it's not working.
Duncan to Cam Guthrie. Kick to O'Connor in the middle. Hand pass away to Smith. Smith gets away from a couple. Hand pass went through the hands of Zach Tui. They've almost coughed it up here, the Cats, but O'Connor went and won it again, and he kicks it out onto the members' wing. Atkins loses Ross. He chips towards Selwood, who's got to work hard near the boundary to keep it in play. At the interchange he does, and he uses Smith about 15 metres further afield.
This bloke's been free 100 times and hasn't been used, but he's working so hard, Isaac Smith.
He goes laterally into Atkins. Creative handball to Duncan, who goes inside the 50. Grimes, though, is there to take the mark for on the intercept.
And you had to stop, Matt, because the setup behind the ball for Geelong is as good as it gets.
Yep, nothing there for Richmond's. Fostone goes short to Dusty. Dustin Martin has it backward of this members' side wing. Martin now just chiselling the kick up. Baker had his arms chopped, the umpire said, so he'll take the free. A few Bronx cheers coming from the Richmond supporters. He'll take the free on the members' wing with Geelong leading it by 35.
Baker had Flostone running around the boundary line, so he chipped it over the man on the mark, and Flostone took it. He comes defensively and laterally, still on the members' wing. Graham plays on. He's had enough. He's going to go long and direct inside 50. Lynch! Oh, almost a fine mark over the back. He runs onto the ball, picks up, hand pass away. Soldo volleyed the hand pass, and it was knocked down. There was a follow-up work done by Baker. He socketed it through. What game are these Tigers playing? But they finally put one in the back of the net. Soldo tried to volley a hand pass. He kicked it into bodies. Baker pouts. They're going for a score review just to make sure that he kicked the ball before it went over the line. And he has. Buse has managed to touch it, but beyond the line. So Richmond they've somehow conjured a desperately needed goal. It came in bizarre circumstances. That's going to be confirmed surely as going over the line before the hand of Buse.
I think we've got the blood rule here too. Looks like Jack Rewalt might have cut the back of his head.
Now, did Baker actually get boot to ball? I think there's a query around that as well. I'm not sure
He
that he did.
I don't think he did.
He's celebrating like he did, but...
Hold on, from what? Oh, no, I reckon that bounced.
I think there's a gap between his boot and the ball.
I agree with you.
It's a goal.
Whew. Unless he hit it just prior to that.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's what happened.
Just prior and it kept running.
Well, this has been one of those days where all sorts of
this is great.
Indescribable things have happened. 7-5-47 Geelong. Richmond 3 straight 18 at the 17-minute mark of the second quarter. Lynch nearly took the scream and then got over the back and onto the ball. Soldo, that was amazing.
Thought he was playing in the World Cup for Croatia, Big Ivan.
I genuinely don't think
with you. I reckon Kolodjasny got that.
I don't think
he got his foot there.
In fact, I'm almost certain he didn't. Baker has done it.
He did.
Oh,
he did?
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
Okay.
A different angle got it. Yeah.
And just on, Revolt got knee in the back of the head from Lynch going for that grab, so he's now off the ground as well.
So 29-point margin in favour of the Cats, 7-5-47. Richmond 3 straight 18. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Robot's got it, they deliver. robotbuildingsupplies.com.au. Back in the middle we go. High contact, Geelong free. We go to Atkins, who's really added some defensive bite to that midfield, hasn't he?
He looks like another Joel Selwood in there.
Atkins puts it inside the 50. Good mark to Flostone, coming in quick, was able to pluck that one. He's called the play on, he's off his line. Goes sideways out to Broad. Broad will take off with a Sharon, cross defensive 50, look down the members' side, loops a handball over the top to Daniel Rioli. Back to Broad, who kept on running. Gives the handball to Short. He thought about the handball, then created with a kick. Gets it to Baker. Baker inside the 50. Dustin Martin's his man. And he takes the mark, Dusty. He's on a tight angle, though, out in the right forward pocket. And what's he going to do? Thought about the short one to Morris Rioli. Thinks better of that. Well, let's see what the champion can conjure from here.
This would be like shelling peas at his best, but he's a bit rusty. He's had the illness, injury, interrupted season. But champions normally fix these up. Don't worry about that.
It's been a rusty dusty, but I reckon he might be able to do something special from the pocket. He goes with the outside of the boot. Oh, of course he does. Of course he kicks at Dustin Martin. Champions always deliver in the big moment, and Dustin has done it again. Maybe that will spark the Tigers. Fourth goal for them. 4 straight 24. Geelong 7-5-47 at the 19-minute mark of the second quarter on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard and on the Collins House online clock.
31 inside 50s to 13, so the scoreboard's actually looking okay for them considering the dominance of Geelong. This quarter, inside 50s, 11-4 in favour of Geelong, but it's 2 goals, 3 to 2 goals. So really good response here, kicking these 2 goals because they've been against the run of play considering just how dominant Geelong have been in this game.
Earlier today, Carlton displaced Geelong in the top 4 with a 31-point win over Fremantle at Marvel Stadium. Cats can go to second, though, if they win this tonight. Out of the middle of the ground, Richmond looking for another clearance. Daniel Rioli over it, knocked it out towards Marlon Pickett. Pickett didn't go too hard at it initially, then goes and wins the footy. Hand pass to Daniel Rioli, off to Baker, over the head to Ralph Smith. Now they're coming, the Tigers, through the corridor. Soldo on the lead, comes out, takes the mark, 60 from goal. Open forward line, Bolton and Martin are in there. Get it in with those two. Off to Baker. Baker's sizzling low kick. Bolton rises, one-handed mark on the back of O'Connor. Opens up the angle. Now they're playing Richmond's way. Oh, that's exceptional football from Shea Bolton, who is capable of anything. Richmond has kicked 3 in a row, and all of a sudden the margin's back to 17 points. 21-minute mark, second quarter on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard. Geelong 7-5-47, Richmond 5 straight 30.
And De Koning coming off the ground.
I reckon he split his web on his hand.
Yeah, we'll see if it's a finger dislocation on the webbing that Shorey's talked about. So things not going quite right for them now. And that was a poor kick by Baker inside 50. But Bolton makes something out of nothing. And he's going to be the Dusty of Tigerland for the next 7 or 8 years, I think. He's going past Dusty as a player. Just Dusty's done it all. And he's past 30 now. But Bolton just makes things happen. I think he's a top 10 player in the game, Shea Bolton.
Yeah, it could have been a dislocated finger.
Yeah.
Last 3 on the bounce for Richmond. We're back in the middle. Then Curvis wins it down. Going to be short. The Shark at handball to Ross. Ross just bombs away. Goes out wide. Atkins was there engaging with McIntosh. Duncan can't take it cleanly. Dustin Martin can, though, for Richmond. Kick is good to McIntosh. Nice work, though, by Atkins, claiming the mark. But he had the first bite. And it's over and out for a throw-in 50 metres around from Richmond's goal. The Tigers are energised. They've kicked the last 3, but the Cats still lead it by 17 on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
Thrown back in. 49 metres from the Richmond goal. Now Curvis took it out of the ruck. Hand pass to Bolton. Bolton snaps. He's hit almost the middle of the ball. Into the pocket it floats. Rewalt had it bounce off his chest as it went through for a minor score, and the margin's been cut from 35 points in this term now to be 16 at the 23-minute mark.
Duncan into play. Short to Isaac Smith, wants to take off. Got a great deal on offer further up the ground, so indulges in a bounce. Close was able to lead up. Was there a little push there?
Yeah.
Yes, from Ralph Smith. Ralph Smith gives away 50. And Close will be marched all the way up to about midfield.
Yeah, a bit unlucky, but once the player marks the ball, you cannot touch him, either tackle or push, and that's what happened. Gee, that's a big 50.
Yeah.
Love to buy real estate from that bloke.
Just forward of the middle. Here's Brad Close now. He puts it up inside the 50. Henry will fly. He can't take the mark. Ground little ball. Big Nankervis bends over, picks it up. Handball to Daniel Rioli. Kick off balance. And flying in the air is Isaac Smith. And is able to bring down the mark. He's 48 metres out, left of centre.
I talked about him before, Lloyd. He has had a sense. He has worked that hard, this bloke. He's a veteran, but his running ability is incredible. I'm just trying to pick up. He's had 4 possession. He's coming up for 9th possession. But, gee, he's been available a number of times and his teammates have missed him.
Oh, he's a great pickup. Came to the club last year, comes in from 49 metres and nails the goal as well. Straight through the middle for Isaac Smith. Cats, after a run of 3 by Richmond, kick their 8th, 8-5-53. The Tigers 5-1-31, 24.5-minute mark of the second quarter.
Still no Robbie Tarrant too. We haven't seen Robbie since he's gone. Oh, he's back on right now, as he call that. So good. He's done his 20-minute concussion test and he's back on. So that'll stiffen up the defence for Richmond a little bit and they can get their setups right. Ralph Smith's been trying to play a little bit taller. Gibcus. So now Gibcus can probably push back into another role to allow for Tarrant to go back into defence. But a good answering goal that from Isaac Smith.
Pilot medical update. If you've just joined us, Dion Prestia knocked out by Tom Stewart, a bump that will have him in hot water. May even go straight to the tribunal for it, but Dion Prestia out of the game. Ivan Soldo coming in for Richmond as the medical sub. High bounce, Nankervis the tap down. Stanley goes after it at ground level. Nankervis as well. He's caught by Cam Guthrie. Umpire says mine, just outside the centre circles.
Shouldn't we have just the grading be enough to know what you're going to get other than going to tribunal? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's just another, I don't know, adjudication you don't need.
Stanley, I wonder what the language would be like if they do go to the tribunal, because that wasn't well received with the recent Buddy Franklin situation. McIntosh kicks forward. Morris Rioli marks on the edge of 50. He's at right half forward. He's got Martin in the pocket and he goes to him. Martin marks from almost the identical position to where he kicked the previous goal. He will shoot again. Hard on the boundary, about 42 metres out.
Well, what he did really smartly last time is he opened up the angle. Whereas watch how smart Mitch Duncan is here now. Mitch has said, I spotted that last time, so call play on ump because I'm ready to go. So... But Dusty, what he's done, he's gone further back to give himself more room. And Duncan's pushing forward.
He's not in line towards the middle of the goal square. Yeah. He's well done. This is smart football.
And he's creeping out even more.
It's 4 metres.
He's improved the angle. Can he match the previous kick? Martin strikes it with the right boot. He misses on the near side.
That's a young umpire who's just got conned.
There was a match earlier in the season here, Collingwood and Richmond, where he did it. I reckon he improved the angle by a minimum 5 metres. It was amazing. So the margin 21 points. Sorry, Matty.
Stewart with the footy from the back pocket, kicking to the wing. Blitzarves can't take it. Comes down to Zach Guthrie. Fashioned to kick under pressure. After it, Rossi left it for Grimes, who gathers on the bounce. Gives the handball to Flostone. A long, searching handball. He gets it to Rewalt. And he's got Bolton there, ignored him, so he goes to the hot spot hoping for Lynch. He couldn't take it, comes down to Buse. He's been tackled, got it out to Isaac Smith. To Zach Tui, he's tackled. Got the handball out, nick of time. Menegola. And now quick kick from Blitzarves, out of congestion, out to the wing. Tarrant comes out the footy. He's been tackled and handballed it straight out. And the umpire's going to come in and throw it back into play.
That went in. He was handballing to his family in the second row there.
75-80 metres around for the Tigers' goal. 21-point lead to the Cats.
Almost 28 played in the second quarter. 3AW is footy for Maccas. Off the ruck contest, Graham runs defensively. kicks laterally, finds Flostone. He's got Ralph Smith in the corridor. He can play on if he wants to. He thought about a hand pass to Daniel Rioli. Now he does move it quickly to Soldo directly in front. He's 40 metres out, and he's going to have a shot, the big fellow.
So just going back, the biggest lead they got out to Geelong was 35 points at the 11-minute mark of this second quarter. So been a great response here. If we can get it back to 15 with a minute left to go just on half-time.
So Soldo, he's about 10 metres forward of the centre circle, spinning the ball in his hands. Kicking towards the Richmond cheer squad, who are today positioned in the Ponsford stand. Through the centre square he comes. He'll kick from just inside 50. Ivan Soldo's kick. He's hooked it hard left. And at the 29-minute mark of this second quarter, the margin is 20 points to the Cats.
I made a profession of that. Kicking off the knee, like Soldo did then.
Here's Stewart to bring the ball back into play. Runs his full quota and then kicks it down the middle. Jeremy Cameron couldn't take the mark. McIntosh slapped it straight to Henry, who gives the handball to Menegola. Handball out to the path of Atkins, just knocked it on for Selwood, who's running with some speed. He kicks it inside the 50, and Holmes is able to take the mark. Outgunning Ralph Smith that time. He's going to go back and line up 45 metres out. So siren will sound before he takes his kick.
Camden McIntosh, yeah, he tapped one on beautifully, went with it again and turned it over. You've got to play the percentages late in the quarter.
Max Holmes back in the team, spending time on the sidelines injured. Kicks from 48 metres after the siren, way off, out to the left. And it's out in the full, and no score. And that is half-time at the MCG. In an action-packed half of football with so much happening, we'll come back and recap it all for you. But it's the Cats leading 8-5-53 at the long break. Richmond are 5-3-33 for Geelong. A couple of goals to Jeremy Cameron, a couple to Tyson Stengel, Isaac Smith, Graham Myers and Jack Henry and Mark Blitzarves. And for Richmond, Dustin Martin, Liam Baker, Tom Lynch, Shea Bolton and Morris Rioli. Earlier today, a good win to the Carlton Football Club, blasting their way into the top four with a 31-point victory over Fremantle. Here at halftime, it's the Cats by 20 points, 8-5-53. Richmond are 5-3-33. For Macca's, 3AW is Saturday football.
Healthy living.
Hi, it's Dr. Ross Walker. Coming up this week, a 30-year study links childhood fitness to midlife cognition. Also, vitamin K2 may play a role in the prevention and treatment of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. I'll talk about a new technology that not only repairs heart muscle cells in mice, but also regenerates them following a heart attack.
Healthy living.
Sunday night from 7
on 3AW 693.
There's plenty for sports fans to cheer about at Liquorland, with great deals like a 24-pack of Furphy Refreshing Ale bottle 375ml for just $48. So head into your local Liquorland today or shop online and collect your order in just 30 minutes. T's and C's apply. Details online.
The AFL are dedicating a whole month to us.
We are the ones with the giant-sized hearts
who cheer the loudest no matter the score. So to celebrate, kids go free for all games between rounds 14 to 17 of the 2022 Toyota AFL Premiership season.
Plus, there will be heaps of fun, food, and of course, footy.
This is for AFL's biggest fans.
This is our time.
Go to afl.com.au/kidsgofree.
Terms and conditions apply.
The most explosive Game 2 blockbuster you'll ever see.
This is unbelievable football!
Paul's State of Origin. Exclusive, live and free. Sunday at 7 on 9 and 9 Now. Are you ready for what the future holds? And just as importantly, is your Lexus ready? Getting your Lexus serviced at Lexus of Blackburn not only protects your investment well into the future, but you're also ensuring your safety for future travels. And with service loan cars or pick-up and delivery of your Lexus, this really is the future of service at Lexus of Blackburn. LMCT 10093. T's and C's apply.
The McChicken is simply simple. No bells or whistles. Just a crispy chicken patty and fresh lettuce smothered in creamy McChicken sauce. Hey, We said no bells and whistles. McChicken. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Available after 10:30am.
Forgot to stock up for game day? Run into your local Foodworks and grab your favourite footy snacks to get you through the game. At Foodworks, you're able to shop a huge range of great weekly specials. With nearly 400 stores, there's always one nearby. That works. It really is convenient. And you'll be able to grab your footy essentials with a local store that's a part of your community. Shop local and save at Foodworks. That works.
See the latest trend-setting interior shaker doors. With solid panels, safe glass or mirror options, and we can install, you'll be spoilt for choice. Visit a showroom and book your free measuring quote. Doors Plus?
No fuss. Like shocks shooting through your body.
That's how some people describe their shingles pain. Shingles is caused by the reactivation of the chickenpox virus. While most people recover fully, up to 25% may experience long-term complications.
I had to cancel all my plans and struggled to work.
Up to 1 in 3 people risk developing shingles in their lifetime.
If you're 50 or over, don't let shingles affect your plans.
Talk to your doctor for more information. Individual symptoms may vary. Sponsored by GlaxoSmithKline Australia, Melbourne.
3AW Footy Highlights.
Hand pass away. Soldo volleyed the hand pass and it was knocked down. There was a follow-up work done by Baker. He socketed it through. What game are these Tigers playing? But they finally put one in the back of the net.
Gets it to Baker. Baker inside the 50. Dustin Martin's his man. He's on a tight angle though. Out in the right forward pocket. Goes with the outside of the boot. Oh, of course he does. Of course he kicks it, Dustin Martin.
Open forward line. Bolton and Martin are in there. Get it in with those two. Off to Baker. Baker's sizzling low kick. Bolton rises one-handed mark on the back of O'Connor. Opens up the angle. Now they're playing Richmond's way.
Half time at the MCG. The Cats leading it by 20 points. 8-5-53. Richmond a 5-3-33. They get out to as much as 35 points in that second quarter, Geelong. And it looked like it was going to be a smashing, but they were able to fight their way back into the game. Richmond, which was good to see, but the Cats leading by the same margin they led by at quarter time, 20 points. Earlier today, it was Carlton by 31 over Fremantle. Tony Shaw, got a bit to unpack. A lot happening in that first quarter.
Well, Preston, you're out, which means one of your best midfielders has gone, so your balance is out a little bit. But you've got to move on from that. You've got to try and work a way around it, and they use Bolton in the centre bounce. Their centre bounce work, they have been smashed in there by Geelong. For the number of 13 goals. I think it was 8 to 5. So they've kicked goals from a number of them, about 2 or 3 goals from centre bounce clearances. But this whole thing, contested possession, they're plus 13, clearances plus 2. I just think they've controlled it to an extent. Richmond had their time when they had the 5 or 10 minutes of joy with 4 quick goals, but they look like they're really. Lynch isn't playing to the level. Rewalt, and it's all about Geelong's pressure up the field, and also just behind play. They've always been a really good defensive unit, except sometimes they were a bit slow, Geelong, and the ball moves in quick. But they held up Richmond really well most of that second quarter. In the entirety of the game, with the dominance of Geelong, I think 20 points isn't as big a margin as what they should have. I don't know about you, Lordy, how do you see it? But there's been some play, like Cameron's been great. Stengel got off the leash there for a while. And I just don't know. There's a lot of upside for Richmond with a lot of players not playing well. But the other one is Stewart. I was talking to a couple of senior journos out in the outside just before, and everyone just said 3-3-3. So I think that's going to be his bare minimum for the next couple of weeks. And the malice isn't. There wasn't. I don't think he's a malice. He hasn't got any malice in him as a player. But to run past the ball, head high contact, bloke goes off with concussion by the looks of it and knocked out. You're going to be at a minimum of 3. But like I said, I think Richmond have got a lot of upside. Whether they're good enough to do it, but there's a lot of players who haven't had major impacts.
For me, it's probably one of the highest quality games I've seen this year. There's been some mistakes, but I think you can see they're 2 high quality teams, and I hope Richmond make the finals if they are to lose today, because I think they should be there with what they're doing. I think they're going to come home really well in the run home. Dion Prestige's a huge loss, so important. He's arguably their most important player, but I think Geelong dominated the game for pretty much a quarter and a half, and then Richmond's last 10 minutes was really good. Moments of brilliance from Bolton, moment of brilliance from Dustin Martin, and I thought they start to get that run and carry going, but full credit to the Richmond defence because they've been under the pump. I think Vlosten stood up really tall. He's had 16 disposals, 10 marks. He's been really solid for them. Broad's tried hard, Grimes has tried hard, but it's just for the weight of numbers. 33 inside 50s to 18, smashed at the clearance. Yeah, I agree, Shuri. 20 points is flattering for the dominance Geelong had in that first half of footy, Matty.
One thing interesting with Geelong, we made mention of it during the call, is Atkins in the middle, Shuri. You talked about that. And one issue that they have had in previous years is unaccountability in the middle. Dangerfield getting it, Guthrie getting it, attacking Selwood to a certain extent. Atkins has got that, hasn't he? He's got a defensive side to his game.
I think he's very much a clone of a young Joel Selwood. How he plays, he's tough, he's hard at it, he tackles it. And Joel's always defended in most of his his career. He's just been that way minded. We know how hard he is at the contest, but yeah, it's good to have two of those types. We know Joel, he might be coming to the end of his career. We probably could see another 2 years out. We'll just have to wait and see. But no, I like the way of it. I think Menengola means a little bit. He's a big-bodied midfielder. He can go to the wing. He runs the lines okay. He hasn't played a lot of football, and he's had his... is this his first game back in seniors or second? Second game back. So, yeah, I think he means a lot to him. But no, I don't know whether they've had the opportunity to put him away, but in general play, other than the 10 minutes that we spoke about where Richmond kicked 3 quick goals, I think Geelong have dominated. So it's just getting control of that. This could be about a personnel thing, about the key forwards, Rewalt and Lynch giving them a target, which they haven't been really good. They've been beaten by their opponents. But if they get enough supply, 18 inside 50s, I tell you what, I don't know what the lowest for Richmond's been over the last decade. But, gee, if they keep going on double that, that's as low as you'll ever get.
I think they had 76 last week.
They did. They smashed Carlton. So, that's a great defensive job by Geelong.
An issue for Richmond, Gibcus has had 2 handballs for the day. Judson Clark, 2 touches, and Rioli, 3. So some of their youth who are getting opportunities just need to improve a little bit because Geelong are so experienced across the board, and De Koning's doing a great job on Lynch. He's probably the youngest in the team. For Geelong. So, more experienced side. It's showing. Tyson Stengel playing another great game. 8 disposals, 2 goals.
My more interest in Richmond is that Edwards has only had 5. Short's only had 8. You don't worry about Nan. And even Shea Bolton's only had 9. He showed some, but Pickett's only had 7. They're good players, and you can blame the youngsters, but I go more with the senior blokes not having enough impact against the senior players of Geelong.
It was just a little sign towards the back end of that second quarter, and you called it out earlier in the game that he needed to have more influence, but Dustin Martin was just looking like he was getting a little sniff of something. He was starting to impact the game.
The one thing I'd say about him, I feel like he's often off the back of others' players' work.
I agree.
Yeah, so he's sort of, he's darting forward and it's off the back of, say, a turnover or something like that. Contested possessions, Dustin Martin has had 2 of his 12 touches, so I'd just like to see him influence a little bit more
whether he
around
the contest to do it now at the moment.
It is our halftime break, courtesy of the Cancer Council of Australia. Cancer Council is encouraging 50 people 50 plus to get to it and do the bowel screening test. Half-time it is the Cats by 20 points, 8-5-53, Richmond a 5-3-33. We'll get to a break. On the way to that break, we'll head to the 3AW newsroom and say good evening to Eddie Summerfield.
Good evening. A woman and her son have had a gun drawn on them in a terrifying carjacking in Melbourne's north. 2 gunmen stole the Blackford territory without causing any injuries in Fawkner just after midday. The shooter was fleeing after firing shots at Mongol's associate Sam Abdullam. The 30-year-old is currently in hospital fighting for life. Emergency services are at the scene of a helicopter crash in Echuca. 1 person is being taken to hospital in a critical condition. The state's opposition claims the 4 ministers who've announced they won't contest the next state election are sick of Daniel Andrews. The Labor caucus appointing Jacinta Allen as the new Deputy Premier to replace James Merlino. And millions of people in the United States could lose the legal right to an abortion. The US US Supreme Court has overturned a historic ruling which made it legal everywhere. In sport, Glenn Maxwell says he'd be an asset to Australia's middle order with his experience in the subcontinent. The all-rounder has been added to the test squad for Wednesday's first match against Sri Lanka.
More than 200 government agencies and nearly two-thirds of the ASX 200 trust the name Vocus, Australia's best-kept secret in sovereign, secure national fibre networks and solutions. Go to vocus.com.au.
Forgot to stock up for game day? Run into your local Foodworks and grab your favourite footy snacks to get you through the game. At Foodworks, you're able to shop a huge range of great weekly specials. With nearly 400 stores, there's always one nearby. That works. It really is convenient, and you'll be able to grab your footy essentials with a local store that's a part of your community. Shop local and save at Foodworks. That works.
Relax and entertain in style with our fresco doors from Doors Plus. Bring the outside inside with bifold stackers and sliders in natural timber or durable aluminium. Visit a showroom to see the range and book your free measure and quote. Doors Plus?
No fuss. Major building projects for the trade or a DIY home reno. Robot Building Supplies is the Australian-owned family-run business you can trust.
Robot's got it.
Robot's product range is vast and world-class. And when it comes to product knowledge,
Robot's got it.
Next day delivery in Metro Melbourne.
Robot's got it.
Over 70 years experience and reliability helping Melburnians. Robot Building Supplies. Notting Hill, Sunshine, Preston, Dramana, Pakenham, Coldstream and Darnham. robotbuildingsupplies.com.au.
ROBOT, Robot Building Supplies.
TG Van Egmond presents Andrea Bocelli, one of the biggest selling classical artists of all time, live November 2 at Rod Laver Arena. Don't miss the most beloved tenor for one special night only. Andrea Bocelli. Tickets on sale now at Ticketek.
Always Buying Prestige Cars is celebrating 51 years of business and would like to thank 3AW for the last 30 years of continuous support. Always Buying Prestige Cars, part of the Nick Theodosi Group.
LMCT 8350.
The most explosive Game 2 blockbuster you'll ever see.
This is unbelievable football!
Paul's State of Origin. Wow! Exclusive, live and free. Sunday at 7 on 9 and 9 Now.
How do you set yourself up for a great day? Is it getting up at the crack of dawn? Or squeezing in that morning fitness routine? Fact is, a great day starts the night before. And it starts with a new Sealy Posturepedic mattress. Featuring the latest innovation, backed by orthopedic research and proudly handcrafted right here in Australia. Visit your leading bedding retailer now to experience a new Sealy Posturepedic for yourself and wake up ready to take on the day on Australia's #1 selling mattress, Sealy Posturepedic.
The AFL are dedicating a whole month to us.
We are the ones with the giant-sized hearts
who cheer the loudest no matter the score. So to celebrate, kids go free for all games between rounds 14 to 17 of the 2022 Toyota AFL Premiership season.
Plus, there will be heaps of fun, food, and of course, footy.
This is for AFL's biggest fans.
This is our time.
Go to afl.com.au/kidsgofree.
Terms and conditions apply.
Throughout Australia, this is 3AW's coverage of the 2022 Toyota AFL Premiership season. For Macca's 3AW is football.
And Geelong leading Richmond in what has been a spiteful and physical affair at the MCG, 8-5-53 to 5-3-33 at half-time for Cancer Council Australia. Cancer Council is encouraging people 50 plus to get to it and do the bowel screening test. To say physical, Dion Prestia was knocked out in the first quarter, a bump from Tom Stewart. He clearly regretted doing it, but he is going to be facing some weeks on the sidelines as a result of it. Ivan Soldo came into the game. Just a bit of match review, officer information for you concerning James Sicily. So 2 charges for him. He's been charged with misconduct against Aaron Norton during the third quarter of last night's match. at Marvel Stadium. In summary, he can accept a $1,000 fine. I assume this is in relation to the hair pull or the headband removing that took place during the match. So a bit of Cameron Clayton and Bruce Dool there, and James Sicily, I think, for that reason has been offered that sanction. And then he's also been charged with striking Jamara Ugle-Hagan. In summary, he can accept a $2,000 sanction. Jacob Kazitsky of Hawthorn was charged with forceful front-on contact against Tim O'Brien. He can accept a $2,000 sanction. So no weeks for those players. Earlier today at Marvel Stadium, Carlton climbed into the top 4, 12-9-81 to Fremantle 7-8-50. Charlie Curnow kicked 4 goals for the Blues. Sam Walsh, 40 possessions for Carlton today. And coming up tonight, and we'll have the call on 3AW for you as well, with Shane McGuinness and David Schwartz and Brad Hardy. It's another cracking match. The Sydney Swans hosting St Kilda. Alistair Nicholson and Matt Granlund calling the action at the MCG. Your experts on 3AW football, Tony Shaw and Matthew Lloyd.
Al, just let's watch Daniel Rioli. I watched him go in a drill, then he came out, went to a trainer, and the trainer ran to the bench and got some massage cream, whatever. He laid down. They were working on both hamstrings. Now, I'm not saying he has hurt it, but it just looked a bit different. Why wouldn't you have had that done in the rooms if something wasn't there? So just something to look out for. And as we know, Dion Presti is out of the game with concussion. And I'm just trying to think, Tommy Stewart is the man who put the bump on to the head, so might be in for a little bit of a holiday, Tommy.
Pilot medical update with Preston. We'll miss next week as well, of course. Men, level up your health with Pilot. Head to pilot.com.au today. Speak to a doctor online and get treatments delivered. Well, it was a rollicking opening half. I wonder what we've got in store in the second half. It's been a great game of footy. Cats by 20 as we begin the second half. 3AW footy. Thanks to Maccas. We're away and Stanley gets the first palm down. Baker, though, gives to Short. He dodges and weaves and then got a quick kick forward. And there's Atkins again, doubling back with a flight of the footy. Takes the mark for Geelong. Got the handball off. Hughes darting past. Runs his full measure and then kicks it inside the 50 on the stretch. Henry can't take it. Here's Stengel, another clean pick-up. He's been wrapped up as soon as he took possession. No prior there. And the umpire to come in and ball it up. 45 out from the Cats' goal.
Jaden Short's had 9 possession, boys, and only 184 metres gained. That's pretty quiet.
Boundary throw, ball up rather, inside the Geelong attacking 50. Nankervis clears it. Socket back inside 50 by Duncan. It gets past Broad. Hawkins and Stengel. Stengel takes possession. He's barreled by Nankervis. Strong tackle. Ball spills out to Grimes. A hand pass to Gibcus. Through the back pocket he goes and kicks it towards the wing on the outer side, southern side of the MCG. No one can get a handle on it except for the clean Dustin Martin. He threw it out. He was caught by Stewart. No free kick. Cam Guthrie kicks back inside 50. Nankervis in the hole takes the mark and away come the Tigers.
Yep, they're going to come out to the wing where Edwards is ready and waiting. Takes the mark on the member side, looks up, Rewalt, he takes the mark. Bolton is screaming for a top of the goal square. He goes that way and he takes it. So Shea Bolton was able to get forward there. Quick transition. As you called it, Lloydie, they were out. Bolton will play on around the body. Oh no, he's missed it. He's hit the post. He rushed it. And he hit the woodwork. That was a certain goal. Going begging for Richmond as they go to 5-4-34. The Cats 8-5-53.
Tui in short to Isaac Smith. Shea Bolton, 1 goal, 2 behinds, 1 out on the full today. Smith kicks to the members' side of the ground. It's too far out in front of Stanley. And he can't get a handle on it on the bounce with Daniel Rioli hot on his hammer. It goes over the boundary line between the members and Olympic stands near the Richmond bench. So the umpire gathers it up and prepares to throw it back into play. He's waiting a long time for Stanley to make his way to this ruck contest. Hurls it back in. Nankervis loses Stanley. Works his way to the front through his fingertips. Graham couldn't get a handle on it. Selwood did. Now he runs into Graham. Strong to get the hand pass out was Selwood, but gave it straight to Short. Hacks a high kick towards the half-forward flank. Baker waited. Knocked down by O'Connor. Tui takes it. Brushed one tackle. Ducked under another. Hand pass didn't hit a target. Richmond wins it back. Through the pack they go. Baker off the outside of the boot. Didn't take much territory. Edwards to Graham. Top of the 50. Goes to the pocket. Lynch a couple to beat. De Koning in front couldn't take it. Stewart at the back does. Hand pass to O'Connor through the goal square. His short pass to the right back pocket, Cam Guthrie.
They're going to miss him, Stuart, for the next few weeks. He's such a tidy player in defence, so composed. Cam Guthrie short to Jeremy Cameron. So not in his natural habitat. He goes short to Buse, who gives it back to Cameron, but loves to run with the football. He takes a bounce, almost run down that time by Morris Riola. Gives to Henry by hand, who gives to O'Connor. Morris Riola couldn't round him up, so O'Connor's going to get a clear kick forward to Cameron again, but it's been stolen. And mark has been taken by Short, who plays on. Baker will put it inside the 50 for Richmond. Great work by Stewart just to thump it forward. Comes down to Cam Guthrie. Got out of a dusty tackle. Oh, that was a tricky ball, but Dewey did it well, but it's been coughed up. Comes to Edwards. Quick kick goal.
Great pressure.
Yeah, they just kept turning the screws, Richmond, inside their 50, and rewarded with a goal, the Tigers. And they go to 6-4-40. Cats are 8-5-53 at the 4-minute mark of the third quarter.
No, I loved was Rioli's chase.
Yeah.
So, Morris Rioli Jr. So he hasn't won a lot of the footy, 3 touches, but he just kept going and going, and that was the kick that forced the turnover where I think Jaden Short cut it off, or Liam Baker was one of the two.
Short, yeah.
Short it was, yeah, and that started it. So well done to Rioli. Like I think he's got to build on his fitness, but he's still out there, ready for the next centre bounce. So that was huge. The Bolton miss, I thought, could dishearten them, but it's been a good start to this third quarter for the Tigers.
Let's see if they can balance up this centre bounce.
Yeah.
They got smashed out of these clearances. Let's see if they go better in the second half here.
And Curvis comes from the side. Selwood taps it for Geelong's way. Bit of a tangle, miscommunication between Cam Guthrie and Isaac Smith. It's knocked out towards the wing. Tui tackled as he got his hand pass away. Pickett in the road for Richmond on the wing. Gets a hand pass off to Short. Short to centre half forward to Riewoldt. Now, I reckon College Jasney's taken at least 2 metres on the mark there and forced Riewoldt to 55 out. Riewoldt goes to the pocket. He wants his sparring partner Lynch and finds him. 40 metres out, a couple of metres in from the boundary. Dom Sheed territory at the MCG.
Oh, come on, Alistair. How did you pluck Dom Sheen out of this one?
Should have been a free kick, Shuri. Braden Maynard's playing his 150th tomorrow. You've got that to look forward to. Tom Lynch outside the boundary line as he starts his approach to the punt road end for consecutive goals for Richmond to spark them in the second half. Kicks from 47 metres out. Not a bad looking kick. That's a magnificent effort. Lynch has put it through and the Tigers are roaring back into this. 8-5-53 Geelong. Richmond 7-4-46. 5 played, third term on the Shell V-Power scoreboard, and Tom Lynch has got his second.
Sure, he said they need to get their clearances right, and there was this tap on from Liam Baker, and he took ages to get himself back up off the ground, but unbelievable courage just to knock the ball out, get the ball going Richmond's way. They spat a player out the front, and then Riewoldt just was playing in front, and then they work so well together. I know Hawkins and Jeremy Cameron do, but Lynch and Riewoldt have just been a wonderful partnership.
I just love, they've changed the mix now. You've got Short in the middle, you've got Baker in the middle, and I think it's Graham.
It's Ross, yeah.
Ross. They've changed it around. Good luck. I think Harvey's done a great job because they were getting smashed.
Cats by 7, Tigers coming. Stanley wins it down, comes to Cam Guthrie. It was caught, handball back to Holmes. Holmes can execute the kick. He'll kick it to centre half forward for the Cats, where Graham Myers came from nowhere to take the mark. Top of the 50. He goes for Hawkins. Got it with a one hand. Just superior strength on Tarrant. And the Tomahawk brings it down and will go back and line up from 35.
Couldn't stop that, Tarrant. Nothing you can do about it. Perfectly weighted kick. That was sensational from Myers. Just as every forward wants it. And Robbie Tarrant, I've been impressed today. He's kept Hawkins to 6 touches. And this will be his first score.
Yeah, it's been very quiet, Tom Hawkins. Lining up the goal. Usually a reliable kick. Tom Hawkins getting plenty of boos from the Richmond fans. He moves in. Umpire moving to his left. It's a point. Well, you don't see that much from Tom Hawkins. Usually puts those away. But a minor score, and the margin is a goal. Margin is 8 points rather in favour of the Cats.
Flostone brought it into McIntosh, who kicks to the wing. Riewoldt rises early. Colin Jasney intercepts for the Cats. Kicks to half forward, dangerous ball. Stengel had to be strong, couldn't complete the mark. May have had the arms chopped. Blitzarves gets it short, latches onto him. A fearsome tackle
Richmond's engaged. The fans are engaged. 60,000 or so at the MCG, witnessing a fierce battle between two great foes of recent times. Umpire to throw it in the air. Nankervis taps it down. Martin ferreting for it, socked by Menegola and worked forward further by Blitzarves. In the road, Flostone. He'll be caught by Myers. Just got his kick away, turned it over. Tui marks within range, 47 out.
Yeah, he can go. I'd just say take it on, mate. You just need to settle here. There's no doubt he'll go to his right when he kicks this. Gets a slingshot action.
He's almost directly in front, Shorey, just to the left of centre. We know he's got the barrel in his armoury. I don't think he'll need the barrel. Man on the mark, 47 from goal. For a settler for Geelong. He's taking all of his allowable time here. The clock's ticked down.
Well, that should be play on.
Just have to walk in before the timer ends.
He skips in. Kicks from 52. Thumping right foot. Drop punts. Bang! And he punches the air and revs up the Geelong fans. Richmond's challenging, but Geelong looks up for the challenge. 9-6-60 the Cats. Richmond 7-4-46 through 9 minutes of this engrossing third term on 3AW football.
Brian Myers getting the slaps on the back there because I thought Vlosten took too long to get rid of the footy, but it was Myers' pressure. As said, not a big ball winner, Brian Myers, but 3 inside forward 50 tackles that they're priceless.
So back up to a 14-point lead, the Cats, and against the run of play in some respects because Richmond were coming at them. 9.5 minutes gone, third quarter. 3AW footy all with thanks to Maccas.
So they've got to be on their running and before the 30 seconds.
That's right.
I reckon we've got to look at that. You forwards have had so much time and you're just pretty bored. So
better look at me time, you reckon, sure.
Ah, me.
Stanley wins it down. Shark, though, by Dustin Martin, gives the handball to Flostone. Running off half-back, he accepts it with glee and then pumps it long inside the 50. Bolton!
Brilliant.
Shea Bolton had his name written all over it, hung in the air for a bit of effect, just for good measure. And we'll go back and line up from 45.
Across his body too.
Yep, we'll play on across his body with the kick, and that one is a goal. So, a goal for the Tigers. Quick reply to the Cats. They get there 8-4-52. Geelong 9-6-60 at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. They won the centre clearance there and capitalised with a goal.
You know, this is why this bloke is so dangerous. You know, you tell forwards, keep your space in front of you. What he does, he sort of goes to where he knows the ball, but he's got a beautiful leap. And the player who plays behind him is thinking, I'm going to get body on body here, but his vertical jump is as good as you'll see for a small player. He just had O'Connor then he was gone. Just a different technique, but that's why he's such a hard matchup.
I reckon he's one more moment away from having O'Connor removed from him. I think O'Connor looked so nervous back there. We saw him miss one earlier. He's now had 4 shots at goal, 2 goals too. So, yeah, he might be out of his depth out of the square, O'Connor.
Blitzarves and Soldo go at it in ruck. Soldo the tap down to Martin, who gets a kick on the bounce to the half-forward flank. It's knocked the way of Tui. Hand pass away to Kolajasny. He hand passed it straight into oncoming traffic in the form of Clark. Out towards the boundary line at Rumbles. Ross gets it for Richmond. Off to Edwards. His hand's too slick for Graham. Atkins emerges for the Cats. And chip passes to Stengel. Well worked by Geelong.
Stengel on the southern wing. 3-point margin in favour of the Cats. Stengel goes very short.
Both sides have really struggled to switch the ball, haven't they? So both these teams defend so well.
Duncan with the football now for the Cats. And goes short again to Kolajasny, working up the southern wing, but all slow stuff from Geelong. Kolajasny, where to next? He's going to have to just bang it up the line here, hope for a big mark. Pack forms, Henry in a good position. Knocked away from him by Gibcus. Ground level ball. Soldo put it onto the boot. Long searching handball to Ralph Smith. Now some run from Daniel Rioli. On to Morris Rioli. He's away with a bounce. He looks up. Kicks inside the 50. Links the target over his head. Tom Stewart can tidy it up again. He gathers. Goes short to O'Connor. Oh, gee. Shea Bolton came quick. Closed on him. But O'Connor was up to the task and took the mark in the back pocket for Geelong.
This game literally has you on the edge of your seat. Kick goes to the wing. Tarrant spoils it away from Menegola over the boundary line.
A throw in near the Richmond bench.
Oh, free kick.
Oh, yes, arms chopped. Now, that's what Menegola was pleading for, and the umpire decided that he had a case.
It was the umpire off the play then,
Yeah, it wasn't the umpire on the spot for certain, Shorey, but Menegola, defensive side of the wing, drives it around the boundary line. Blitzarv's in front, strong hands. Took heavy contact. Now, was that touched on the way through? It must have been, because the umpire said play on. McIntosh spins away, a hand pass to Ross, gives it back to McIntosh. He runs the boundary line past the interchange. 2 bounces off the outside of his boot. A creative kick. Rewalt. Was he nudged out in the marking contest? Kolodjasny the spoil. O'Connor collects in the back pocket and calmly exits to Menegola at right half back. That was brilliant play. He's copped another one there.
Just fell on his head.
No, he's turned it over, went inboard, taken by Graham, intercept. Handball, Daniel Rioli, running and gunning, gives the handball to Ross. Ross now will pass beautifully to Bolton, and Shea Bolton takes the mark in the right forward pocket. Will go back and settle and take his shot.
I'm just thinking it might be time for Henry to go back there.
Yeah.
Take him back. Better. He's played defence. He doesn't mind playing on a smaller type either. But I don't think any defender might have stopped that anyway, the way the ball moved in.
And Henry's only had 6 touches, and you probably got 5 of them in the first 10 minutes of the game, so not getting anything out of him forward.
So Shea Bolton coming in from the forward pocket for Richmond. On its way, another one for the Tigers. He's got 3. Shea Bolton. And 2 points the margin. Richmond go to 9-4-58. What a game we have. Geelong 9-6-60. 14-minute mark of the third quarter on the Shell V-Power scoreboard. 3AW Footy all with thanks to Maccas.
So the Geelong runners charging out, and Jack Henry's been asked to go to the bench, so I think he'll probably get a message to say, okay, this is going to be your role. Anyway, Shannon Burns is speaking to him, the Geelong runner. So, yeah, it's just a matter of time, you'd think, before that matchup. They're just probably trying to align some of the moves.
Well, I think you'd make it now. Hughes could go back and play on him. He's a pretty athletic player. He's getting beaten at the moment. He doesn't look comfortable, like you said.
Yeah. Pleased for Jack Ross too. Often the first player dropped. He's had 16 touches.
Stanley from the middle, had it knocked out of his hands. Holmes goes through, sockers it forward, broad in the road, front on contact, a case for that. Stengel gathers, play on, says the umpire. Kicks the Cats deep inside 50. Henry there with Tarrant. Tarrant wants the body, it gets to ground level, and it's knocked over in the left forward pocket for Geelong. 25 metres from the Cats' goal. 4 goals to 1 in this term, Richmond's way. The margin was 35 points to the Cats in the second quarter. Now it stands at 2 as Soldo belts it back towards the 50 from the stoppage. Holmes goes after it. He's harassed off it by McIntosh. Clark knocked off it by Tui. Tui's now tackled after taking possession. Ball comes out. Holmes gets a hand pass. Ross took it, gave to Baker. Clever hand pass on the outside. Ross goes long towards the wing. Lynch in a wrestle with Blitzarves. Offhands towards the boundary. Lynch gets a hold of it. His hand pass knocked down by Blitzarves. And it's come off his boot. Yes, out on the full Richmond free kick, Lloydie.
Intentional.
Yeah, handballed intentionally into De Koning's foot to get the on the full.
So Lynch, he kicks it to half forward. Stanley back there. Hughes at the base of the pack. He's been tackled. He had no prior opportunity though. Umpire will come in and ball it up just outside the 50 for Richmond.
That's the old basketball trick, isn't it? You're on the sideline, you throw it at the bloke and get the rebound.
Cats by 2. Soldo worked it down. I reckon he might have got high contact. Yes, 3. Richmond. Avant Soldo has the Sharon just outside the 50. Gives the hand pass to Daniel Rioli, who pumps it long, might go for goal here.
Lynch.
And Lynch, has he taken it?
I reckon yes.
The umpire says yes. Mark to Lynch between the goal post and the point post, so he'll be pushed onto an acute angle. Come in from the right forward pocket. This to put Richmond in front. You'll hear the roar if he can put this one through. He just has to step out, open up the angle. And he's missed. Anti-climax. Point the difference.
He was too close to the bloke on the mark then.
9-5-59 Richmond, 9-6-60. Geelong, 17-minute mark, third quarter.
Isaac Smith's going to bring the ball back into play. Goes for a run, has a bounce, almost lost possession of it. Kicks to half-back. Jeremy Cameron's worked up the field to offer an option for him. He feeds the hand pass back to Smith, defensive side of the Shane Warne stand wing. Kicks towards half forward. Gibcus edged out by Myers. It gets past Grimes, who then lays a great tackle on Henry and holds it up at left half forward for the Cats.
That's got to be holding the ball. He took 2 steps once he grabbed the ball.
Yep.
All the Richmond senior players, I reckon, have stood up in this quarter.
Ball up, 50 out from Geelong's goal. Stingle gets a kick inside the 50. Isaac Smith bounced off his chest. Closes here. Edwards, handball, just overcooked it. Graham couldn't take it. Zach Tui comes the other way. He crashed past the Baker tackle. Got the handball to Myers. Quick kick towards goal. Missing to the left. Oh, what a game. 18-minute mark of the third. Geelong go to 9-7-61. Richmond 9-5-59. 3AW footy all thanks to Maccas.
He just ploughed through Zach Tui. That was such strength. Ralph Smith has a casual bounce to bring the ball back into play. Through the back pocket he goes and launches to the southern side. Oh, what a mark. Stewart edged out Rewald, pulled it in one-handed, controlled it with the second. He goes to Stengel at centre-half forward. Stengel, Henry on the lead, comes out, can't take the mark, got treatment over the shoulder against Tarrants. Henry's free kick, 45 metres out to the right of centre.
You want to kick this because if they're thinking about throwing back and he kicks a goal, he'll probably stay forward and no one wants to be down that end. There's no doubt about the free kick.
Henry kicked the second goal of the game. And this new role as a forward today, making his return from recurrence of the foot injury, hasn't played since round 5. From 50, Henry's kick is always left. And it floats through for a minor score. The lead is out to 3 points Geelong's way. We've ticked into time on of the third quarter.
Broad brings the ball back into play. Out to the members' side. Lynch's target. Good mark too on the stretch. Terrific grab by Tom Lynch. He's kicked to half forward. Shea Bolton can't gather. Zach Guthrie picks it up. High contact on Buse. He'll take the free. And he'll take it at right half back.
Poor kick by Lynch. He kicked to a 50-50 1v3. Just didn't need to do it. They've controlled the tempo of this game pretty well in this third quarter. But that was just a rush of blood there from Lynch and put Bolton under too much pressure. Now Geelong, what can they find? Because they're very stagnant now, Geelong.
Cats by 3. Buse has it. A great deal on offer further up the ground, so it goes sideways to Kolajasny. Still has it at half back for the Cats. Richmond will set up down the ground, so he's going to go short again. Oh, dangerous. Ralph Smith knocked it away from Buse. Ralph Smith gathers. He kicks towards goal. It curls back, and it's a goal to Richmond. Ralph Smith kicks it. And a critical error by Geelong in their defence. And as Lloydie said, they're stagnant. They're not bold at the moment because Richmond so well set up, and the Tigers are in front with that. 10-5-65. Geelong 9-8-62 at the 21-minute mark of the third quarter.
So they've had 10 inside 50s, Richmond, for 5 goals too. So scored 7 times out of the 10 metres gained. 1,200 metres for Richmond, 800 for Geelong. So that's where we're talking about. They're just not moving the ball. There's no handball receives. It's a real issue for them. They've got to be bolder here. The game's turned on its head. They've got to score. Richmond will keep coming at you. They'll continue to score. Geelong, this is what, when you come to finals time, you can't be too safe. You've got to try and kick your 15, 16 goals, and they've been stuck on 9 for a fair period.
This has been an extraordinary turnaround. Richmond without Prestia. Baker gets the clearance, bangs it forward. No mark taken. De Koning got it for Geelong. A hand pass to Buse, pursued by Morris Rioli. Gets his kick away. Myers slides in and takes the mark. Centre of the outer wing, southern side of the MCG.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to roll on. That's not the way they play. Roll on and kick down the line. Get some yardage, like you said, Lloydie.
Yeah.
Myers in the Hawkins direction. Couldn't mark opposed to Tarrant at the front. Selwood took it. He's tackled. Got a hand pass away towards the boundary. Smith tapped it to Myers. Myers a hand pass forward. Off the boot of Atkins. It sails wide and out on the full. Free kick Richmond right half back.
Grimes to take it. Tigers are in front. 65 plays 62. Deep in the third quarter, 22-minute mark of the third, in fact, on the Collins House online clock.
Oh, he's
and
kicked it
Grimes
down
has
the belly
kicked it out in
himself.
the full as well. So free kick Cats. Atkins will take it. No, it's going to come all the way back to Cam Guthrie, I reckon, has got it. So Guthrie will take the footy here for Geelong. Goes back over his mark. So Cam Guthrie looking up, glances into the corridor, goes very short to Buse, who takes the mark. Still kick and a half out from Geelong's goal. Heavily populated 50. Might have to just bang away here, Buse. He does. He drives it long. Jeremy Cameron is there trying to get to the front. Thumped away by Broad. Ball comes to ground. Duncan collects it. His handball, though, missed the target. They make it okay, though, as Stanley goes inside the 50. Menegola can't take the mark. After it, Grime Myers slaps it on. Close left it for Atkins. Atkins has been tackled. That should be holding the ball. It is. He dropped it. And Grimes again with a great tackle, rewarded at left half back for Richmond.
Goes short to Ralph Smith on defensive 50.
Gee, switches on here if he looks inside, long switch, but as I said, both clubs have defended it well. It was on then.
Ralph Smith to the wing to a pack of about 6. Soldo rises in front, got a good piece, didn't mark. Picked up by Lynch, ducked under a tackle, lost possession. O'Connor gave it to De Koning. He threw it out. He was taken heavily as he did so, and he's going to get a free kick. The umpire was blindsided. It was right in front of the commentary box. And De Koning's going to have a free kick for the Cats members' wing.
And now I'm watching for the energy of Geelong. I still don't see it. I want to see players blocking for each other. I want to see the ground being opened up a little bit, but it still looks like it's just being set for these little dinky short passes to each other.
De Koning has Smith, as Shorey's mentioned, he's worked really hard to present all day in pockets of space, and he takes the mark in front of the interchange.
He will play on and get onto his trusty left and kick it up inside the 50. An easy fodder for Daniel Rioli, uncontested mark in the end. He just goes backwards to Tarrant. He gives the handball to Short. Short will look out to the southern side. Nicely placed kick for McIntosh, who takes the mark. I think he wanted to go, but he shuffled back over his mark. He goes short again to Daniel Rioli, working hard.
20 disposals, Rioli, the most of any player on the ground.
Probably coming to your votes, I reckon, Lloydie.
Oh, you beat me to it again.
Sure, he usually gets in earlier than that.
Yeah, I let him go. I'm feeling sorry for him.
You're the best at that, Shuri. Here's Broad with the Sherrod on the outer side wing. He kicks the half forward. Rewalt was flying there, and it's out to the boundary line, and we're going to have a throw in. About 65-70 around from Richmond's goal. Tigers by 3.
At the 17-minute mark of the second quarter, Geelong was leading this game by 35 points. Dion Prestia knocked out by Tom Stewart in the first quarter, so one of prime midfielders for the Tigers not out there, but they have shown some serious resilience, fought their way back. Now Curvis down to Baker, left foot kick in the Rewald direction, 1-on-1, couldn't mark, it gets to ground level at the back. De Koning farms up a hand pass to Buse, under pressure, hand pass to Stewart, loops one over the top, and Cam Guthrie happy to see it over the boundary line. A throw in at right half forward for Richmond, southern side of the ground. 9-8-62 the Cats. Richmond 10-5-65. The Tigers by 3 points at the 26-minute mark.
Nothing's easy for Geelong. Richmond making everything hard. And a boundary throw in, 50 around from Richmond's goal. Ball hurled back into play, but a shallow throw in. And Curvis knocks it forward. Cam Guthrie goes after the foot. He's able to gather. Boundary line is free that time. He just walked it over. We'll have another throw in, 30 metres around from Richmond's goal.
At the same amount of inside 50s this quarter, but Richmond have kicked 5 goals 2 to Geelong's 1 goal 3. So it's the quality of those entries and the speed the ball's coming in for Richmond, which is a difference.
They're inside 50, pressure outstanding too. There's Rewalt just knocking it into the path of Baker, who couldn't get on the end of it. Back over the boundary line, throw in.
Good call, Matty, because even when that ball went to the boundary line, Richmond players are closing space really quick. They've had 2 stoppages here now, so they could have something set up here at the ground level. A lot of blocks off the ball.
No decisive knock in the ruck. Baker bumped off it by Collar Jasny. Comes to the back of the pack. Atkins broke a tackle, looped a hand pass towards the boundary. Stewart took possession and took the ball over. Another stoppage. Tigers deep in attack to the punt road end.
I reckon Baker's been instrumental in this quarter. He's only had 5 possessions, but just what he's done around the contest has been brilliant.
He has been in outstanding form in recent times. In fact, all season, really. Tap down towards Martin. Couldn't take it. Kolodjasny did. His hand pass knocked down. Baker got it out. Edwards took the shot after receiving the hand pass. Missed it. Martin had a go. Missed as well. And it's cleared by Stewart of Geelong out to the back flank. It should be coming back. Pickett back with the flight. Tumbles and marks. He thought about a squaring ball. Now, Proudmont 50 saying Blitzar's encroached. Pickett inside 50. Morris Rioli up, can't mark. It hits the deck. Geelong needs to be tidy here. Bewes' hand pass isn't tidy. Selwood crashes through. Attempted soccer. Missed by Cameron. Comes out. Morris Rioli tapped it down. Graham 40 out. Curling kick towards goal. Decoding. Just got his fingertips to it on the goal line to save a certain goal. And the margin's 4 points to the Tigers, approaching three-quarter time.
Could have another concussion here, Liam Baker. So fell into a player. Oncoming traffic, it was Kolodjasny. So might be another concussion test for the player Shorey just spoke about, Liam Baker, one of the Tigers' most important. He'll come off, you'd think, and have a test.
Yep, getting up slowly, coming to the bench straight away. Well, Richmond winning all the ground balls at the moment. Ball back into play. Marked by Duncan. Duncan in the back pocket. Again, stagnant. He's going to come out to the members' side as Baker comes to the bench for his concussion test. Down the line. Good mark to Pickett.
Great courage.
We're back with a flight again. Didn't know what was coming at him, but he was steadfast and took the grab. He was about to send Richmond back inside the 50 again. Plays on. He's able to get around Henry. Onto the left. It's a floater. Ball hits the deck. Opens up for Edwards. Nice work, Zach Guthrie. Batted down the handball. Then Morris Rioli got him in the tackle. And the umpire will have it. 30 metres out from Richmond's goal. It's lived in there for the last 3 or 4 minutes. Tigers by 4.
Dan Wall might burst here in a minute as a goal.
Curvis tapped it down. Duncan cleared off the outside of his boot. Pickett back with the flight again. Casually trots back and marks on his chest. Man on the mark, 51 metres from goal. He's hard on the boundary in front of the Olympic stand.
Top of the square.
Pickett balks, gets around close, chips towards Bolton. It's over his head. Punched down by Zach Guthrie. Menegola gets it back to Cam Guthrie. His kick smothered. Martin gets it. Look out, Geelong. Martin snaps, misses. It fades away. He misses on the right. Three-quarter time cannot come quickly enough for Geelong. It's Richmond by 5 points.
Yes, they need the siren, Geelong, just to reset. Here's Duncan to bring it out of defence from fullback. He takes a bounce. He sends it to the southern wing. Holmes got a spoil in. Picked up by Isaac Smith. Handball to Blitzarves. Handball to Kolodjasny. Runs into a dead end, so he's going to get the handball back to Blitzarves. He hoists a high one up, and that's a good mark taken by Tarrant, playing in front of Hawkins that time. Siren sounds for three-quarter time, and what a quarter by the Richmond Football Club to take a 5-point lead into three-quarter time. They're up by as much as 35 Geelong in the second quarter, but it's the Tigers leading 10-7-67. The Cats are 9-8-62. The multiples, Shea Bolton with 3, a couple to Lynch, and multiple goal scorers for Geelong, Jeremy Cameron with 2 and Tyson Stengel with 2. Earlier today it was Carlton, 31-point winners over Fremantle. We're going to bit to play out here at the MCG. Should be a cracking final quarter coming up. It's Richmond leading it by 5 points, 10-7-67. Geelong 9-8-62. For Maccas, 3AW is football.
We should all save 000 calls and ambulances for emergencies because there are alternatives. If you feel unwell or have a minor injury, there's your local GP. You can see a pharmacist for questions on general health, and you can always ring Nurse on Call at 1300 60 6024 for immediate advice 24/7. So think about how you can help save lives by saving 000 calls for emergencies. Find out more at betterhealth.vic.gov.au.
Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
The most explosive Game 2 blockbuster you'll ever see.
This is unbelievable football!
Paul's State of Origin. Exclusive, live and free. Sunday at 7 on 9 and 9 Now.
The AFL are dedicating a whole month to us.
We are the ones with the giant-sized hearts
who cheer the loudest no matter the score. So to celebrate, kids go free for all games between rounds 14 to 17 of the 2022 Toyota AFL Premiership season.
Plus, there will be heaps of fun, food, and of course, footy.
This is for AFL's biggest fans.
This is our time.
Go to afl.com.au/kidsgofree.
Terms and conditions apply. Did you know you can save on fuel at Shell Coles Express? Just spend $20 in store in one transaction and you'll save 10 cents per litre on Shell fuel instantly. To save on fuel, express yourself at Coles Express. Limits, exclusions and T's and C's apply.
Sunsuper and QSuper have joined to form a bigger, better fund. It's called Australian Retirement Trust, a fund with a fresh ambition to be a force for good and to make the world of our more than 2 million members better. We will be there in the big moments and the little ones because they all add up. Australian Retirement Trust. Consider PDS and TMD at australianretirementtrust.com.au and whether our products are right for you.
Tax time is running out at Bunnings Trade. Don't miss the Makita 18-volt brushless rotary hammer drill kit, great value at $349. Or a Pazload nail gun combo kit for $1,499. Bunnings Trade. Helping business is our trade.
Hi, it's Craig from EcoStar. Want to eradicate cold drafts, reduce external noise and your energy bills? Want to increase your home's value and security? Ask for EcoStar double glazed windows and doors. Our end of financial year sale is on now. Get up to 22% off. Plus, we'll pay the GST for you. To find out more, call 1300 EcoStar.
EcoStar, get the best double glazing from the start.
There are moments in life when super plays its part. When your super moment arrives, it makes sense to be with a long-term top performer like Australian Super. It's Australian, it's super, and it's yours. Past performance is not an indicator of future returns. Read the PDS and TMD at australiansuper.com.
3AW Footy Highlights.
Comes down to Cam Guthrie. Got out of a dusting tackle. Oh, that was a tricky ball, but Tui did it well, but it's been coughed up. Comes to Edwards. Quick kick goal.
Great pressure.
Yeah. Gives the handball to Ross. Ross now will pass beautifully to Bolton. And Shea Bolton takes the mark in the forward pocket for Richmond. On its way, another one for the Tigers. Oh, dangerous. Ralph Smith knocked it away from Hughes. Ralph Smith gathers. He kicks towards goal. It curls back. And it's a goal to Richmond. Ralph Smith kicks it. And a critical error by Geelong in their defence. 5 points the margin in favour of Richmond. Outstanding in that third quarter. 10-7-67 the Tigers. The Cats absolutely stopped to a walk in that third term. 9-8-62. Let's hear from Matthew Lloyd and Tony Shaw. Shaw, we'll start with you.
Look, I just thought, I said at half time, I thought the Richmond senior players had to stand up, and I think they did. And well done to Damien Harwick. He changed the mix in the midfield. Short was in there at times. Baker, I thought, had did a great job. Didn't have a massive amount of possession, but some of his efforts at the contest, in the end he got a smack in the head. We'll have to see what happens, whether he comes out, whether he's getting tested for concussion or he's out in the ground now and it's all done and dusted and everything's okay. But that'll be a massive loss, especially with Prestia out. Their speed at the contest and their forward pressure was as good as I reckon. I know, Lloyd, you said this is as good a game, or when Geelong was going, as good a quarter. Well, I reckon that was as good a quarter I've seen all year as forward pressure from a team.
I agree, Shorey. It was 18 tackles to Richmond to 7 to Geelong. So, it's been a 40-point turnaround. So it's been huge, considering they lost Dion Prestia like they did. Tarrant for a period of time. They've had
Baker's
players coming
out
up.
there,
Yeah,
so
Baker's back out there, which is good. So it's all stemmed from fixing up the centre bounce work. And they wouldn't have expected that big Soldo was going to come on and have two big ruckmen, so they've adjusted well. And Bolton out of the goal square also, I think, turned that game in the third quarter.
It's been an engrossing 3 quarters of football between two heavyweights of the competition, two teams with a fearsome modern rivalry. 60,000 at the MCG strap themselves in for the final half hour. Bounce of the ball. Ross over it in the middle of the ground. Duncan over him. Umpire calls for a secondary ball up, still inside the centre square. Duncan hands the ball to the up. And Curvis takes it out of the ruck.
Richmond going to the city end. The kick goes towards half forward and Rewalt. Strong hands in front of Kolodjasny. His 2 long kicks from goal. He wants to move it quickly. He goes deep in the Lynch and Bolton direction. It cleared that pair. And at the back of the pack, Stewart, who's been the villain all day after that
kick.
bump on Dion Prestia. Scrubby kick out of defence. Henry takes possession. Caught by McIntosh. Ball comes out. Now over the top of it. Menegola's met heavily by Ross. And the umpire will ball it up at right half forward for Richmond. The Tigers by 5.
Very fumbly.
And Mitch Duncan's been thrown into the midfield. So he's been pairing up with Baker a little bit here. So it's something we haven't seen this year. Duncan is an inside mid.
Yeah, going to try and get something going. Comes to Menegola, who gives the handball to Blitzarves. Blitzarves now kicks it to the members' wing. It is a high one. Who's underneath that? Stanley trying to get a fist into it. Grimes, steadfast handball to McIntosh. McIntosh, a bit of a wandering handball, and Atkins was able to cut it off and knock it over the
Grimes is hurt, boys. Grimes is hurt. He's coming to the bench now.
Oh, yeah. I'm not too sure what the issue is, but he's not in a great way. So straight to the bench, Grimes. That's a big one. We'll keep an eye on that for Pilot Medical. As the umpire will toss the ball back into play. Centre wing, members side. And Curvis the better of that. Stewart come blasting through. Went without the football though. Cam Guthrie to Stewart. Gets boot the ball. Again, hoist one high. Flostone was up, thumped toward the boundary line. Good pick up by Stengel. He's able to get boot the ball. He was under duress though. McIntosh underneath that. He thumps to the boundary line. It'll be Flostone to win. Handball to Short, and Short is away on the wing.
Drives it long in the Bolton direction. Bolton one-on-one with O'Connor. O'Connor in front, did well. Ball goes to ground level, dangerous. Bolton takes possession. He's mown down from behind. Superb tackle by Buse. It goes over the boundary. A throw in 25 metres from the Richmond goal. So Grimes, I wonder whether it might have just been that he had the wind knocked out of his sails. He's sitting on the bench at the moment. I think he's okay. Boundary throw in. Nankervis and Blitzarves. Tapped down towards the dangerous Bolton. Couldn't take it. Baker equally dangerous. Gets it 30 out. Caught by Atkins. Gone. Holding the ball. Atkins has played a brilliant match for Geelong. And he'll take the free kick just forward of fullback.
They need a fire starter, Geelong. They need something to spark them. He goes sideways to Menegola. They need something spectacular. Menegola from half-back kicks it to the southern wing. Isaac Smith flying for it. Stengel should be able to gather here. He's got Flostone closing on him and was taken high. Flostone, free kick Richmond. Against Stanley. Got the handball on. Ross was able to escape the tackle and then go deep inside the 50 for the Tigers. Lynch! Couldn't quite take the mark. Was he held on to? Umpire says no. Coughed up. Quick kick. Clark! Judson Clark kicks the goal from the pocket. Landed in his lap, and the Tigers extend their lead and kick the first goal of the final quarter. They're 11th, 11-7-73. Geelong 9-8-62 at the 3.5 minute mark of the final quarter for Robot Building Supplies.
Lloydie Clark was good, but I want to go back to Vlosten on the wing.
Yeah.
When he got the handball, he played on straight away with a big handball forward. That's how where they've taken the game on. Their leg speed and ball movement has made the Cats look slow in the second half.
And how fast Jack Rewalt come. He lays a huge tackle, and Clark's the one that kicks the goal, and it was like he kicked it himself. That's how happy he was. And Tom Lynch should have got an around the neck free kick before that too. And it's about how far now Richmond, because of the way Geelong are just unwilling to take the game on and get handball receipt. Be bolder. You're going to lose anyway by the looks of it, so take the game on.
Just as Baker does as he skirts through the middle of the ground, takes possession, kicks on the bounce inside 50. Lynch had a fumble. De Koning knocks it away, but Baker's there again. He's everywhere. Off to Pickett. Pickett's second half's been excellent. Kicks towards Bolton. He's shepherded out of the contest. Menegola didn't take it. Clark's dragged down for Richmond. Duncan taken high. Free kick Geelong. Duncan at fullback for the Cats. They are under siege, Geelong. 11 points is the Richmond lead. We're almost through 5 minutes of the final quarter. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard 9-8-62. The Cats trailing Richmond 11-7-73. Kick out to half back. Oh, Marlon Pickett again rises and intercepts.
So he has the football. He's about to go back inside. He just gets short with a short
he's going to go here.
And he can thump it. He's going to shuffle back over his mark here, Jaden Short. What's he going to do? He's going to kick it right. I won't have the legs. And mark's taken by Lynch anyway. So it is all happening for Richmond. Nothing going right for Geelong. And Lynch takes the mark between the point and the goal post. We pushed onto a tight angle from the boundary line here.
A lot further away from the man on the mark. He was so close on his non-preferred the other time. Now he's about 10 metres away from him, so he just walk up, stand still, 3 steps inside, bang, go.
Bang, goal. Got 3, Tom Lynch. And I think you're right, Lloydie, that's how far Richmond. Cats have got nothing left in the tank, it seems. 12-7-79, the Tigers. 9-8-62, Geelong. 6-minute mark of the final quarter on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
The one thing I can't understand, the runner that they had in the first half was Isaac Smith. He's starting as a forward, rolling up, but I think you've got to throw him on a wing and bring him off the heart. Let him play into defence and run through the lines. He was the only ball carrier. So they need to change a lot of things around. Cameron's going into the centre bounce now, which is something different, but they need something different in there.
Richmond's kicked 7 of the last 8 goals in this game. Coming from 35 points down in the second quarter. Nankervis and Stanley. Stanley a hand to it. Baker goes after it again. I think Lloydie's votes may well be decided, sure as it goes out towards McIntosh. McIntosh to Morris Rioli. He kicks to Jaden Short, who really got in the road of Nankervis. Didn't take it. Socket forward by Nankervis. De Koning gathers. He's under pressure from Bolton. Did well in the end to get it to Tui by hand. Menegola clears to left half back, and Cam Guthrie marks on his chest.
Comes inboard, hangs in the air for a while, but Cameron was equal to it, took the mark. He goes to close, he's got on the members' wing. He looks up. Long searching handball, gets it to Selwood. Selwood handball to Myers. Myers will chip it short to Stengel. Only just travelled its required distance, but he'll go back and line up for goal 45 out directly in front for his third.
It's amazing what Cameron does for his team. He got involved there and he's so creative. Every time he gets the footy, he makes things happen with it. So a good move there from Chris Scott, and nice to see them some link up and what it did for Stengel to mark that footy inside forward 50.
So Tyson Stengel, usually a very good kick at goal. Doesn't miss that often. Really need this Geelong to give them something. Comes in 45 out directly in front. Tyson Stengel puts through the goal. 3 for Tyson. And can that spark them? They're going to need something extraordinary. The Cats, they go to 10-8-68. Tigers are 12-7-79. 8-minute mark of the final quarter. That one definitely against the run of play.
That's the 8th time this season he's kicked 3 goals or more in a game, Tyson Stengel.
Yeah, he's very clean with his hands. Plenty of time on the clock. You're going to have your time when the opposition gets a run at, and I know Richmond's done it well, but Geelong, they can score and they can score quickly. So I love that about Cameron. I agree with you, Lloydie. They had to change something, whether it was Isaac Smith or Cameron or whatever. Just got to get some ball carriers.
And this last quarter, 7-1 inside 50s Richmond's way, so they just can't get their hands on it to pressure. Hopefully that goal changes things for them.
That was their first since the 9-minute mark of the third quarter. Stanley a decisive knock in the middle. Cameron gets it. He's tackled. Tried to hand pass. I'm not sure that was legal. Play goes on. Graham to Baker, it comes through Nankervis. Baker goes back to Nankervis by hand. A chip pass to Pickett. Pickett 65 from goal at left half forward. Southern side wants to play on. Balks one, feeds the hand pass. Toby lays it deep to the teeth of goal. Out they come. Lynch had it bounce off his chest. Menegola's caught by Seldo. He got it away. Zach Guthrie clearing kick for Geelong. Stanley rises, couldn't take it. Close Roves. Hand pass out the back to Stewart. Pulls the trigger into the middle. Blitzarves marks on his chest. The Cats can come forward.
He's got a runner, Cam Guthrie. Gives it to him by hand. They're out here, Geelong. Stengel dropped the mark. Got to go back and retrieve it. Had time to do that. He gathers now. He kicks to Henry, who kicks
in the back.
Free kick to Richmond.
Against Hawkins, was it?
Yeah, Grimes was pushed by Hawkins. And that was a certain goal for Geelong. As Grimes goes short to Tarrant. And a goal goes begging. They could have put back-to-back goals on the board. Tarrant short. Jaden Short now goes out wide to Broad. Margin remains 11 in favour of Richmond.
It's a game of inches. As Stengel had to mark that ball, that fumble allowed players to get back another couple of metres.
Graham gave it to Broad. Broad kicked it, and it was intercepted 2 metres away by Tui. Broad tackled him, but he got a hand pass to Smith, who had his shorts pulled down. And now the ball near the boundary line, taken by Broad, who's dragged over by Tui. There was a lot happening there. People will get themselves back in the appropriate attire, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. Centre of the outer wing. So Blitzarves to go against Nankervis. Tigers leading by 11 points. Thrown back in. Nankervis took it out of the rucker. Hand pass to Short. Short tumble punt to the edge of 50. Kolajasny punched it away from Soldo. Goes after it. Taken by Zach Guthrie. Tackled by Lynch. Dragged down. Ball up. 60 metres out from the Richmond goal. 11-minute mark of the final quarter. On the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard, it's the Tigers by 11.
Ball up. Comes down to Graham. Able to get a kick out of there. Now it's towards the boundary line. What's the umpire say?
He got spun around in a tackle.
He did. Insufficient intent, the umpire has ruled.
Please.
Jeremy Cameron has got it at right half back. So Cameron. Short to Holmes, who presents ran hard to make an option for him. Takes the mark backward of the wing. Short to Cam Guthrie. Ball on the southern side of the MCG. 11-point margin in favour of Richmond.
She is still slow build-up, isn't it?
Back to Jeremy Cameron again, who kicks the half forward. Blitzarves hugs in the mark, just top of the 50. He looks up. Now he's got O'Connor or Stengel. Stengel will try and run onto the foot. He got a little shove that time by Polton. Did well. Stengel just to flick it back to O'Connor. Now close in the pocket. Opens up the angle and kicks the goal. Cats have got 2 in a row. Let's check the scoreboard. 11-8-74 Geelong. Richmond 12-7-79. 12-minute mark of the final quarter. Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
And that kick from Jeremy Cameron again. He's in the centre corridor, and he's kicked it 45 metres, but just flat. Yeah. A flat dart. I think Blitzarves marked the footy, and it opened up again that scoring opportunity. So not sure what he's like as a stoppage player, but around the ground he's field kicking. He's just opening things up for Geelong, and a good response here from them. The Tigers need a lift from Dustin Martin. He's yet to touch the footy in this last quarter when they need him. I'm admiring Lynch and Revolt. Their pressure is really, really good for big forwards, but now they're under the pump. They need Dusty to lift.
From the middle of the ground, Soldo taps it down. Cam Guthrie gets it. He's tackled, he's dragged down, he took them on, he's finished. Holding the ball. Graham, a free kick for Richmond in the middle of the MCG. There's a bit of wrestling. Now the umpire is going to reverse it. He put his hand up. I thought he was going to reverse it. So
get off
him.
Yeah.
Okay. He sucked me in there, well and truly. Just about jumped out of the commentary box.
Now, mate.
Kick goes inside. 15 rewalds. Some jump through hoops. Others jump over them. He takes a screamer. Oh, and it's been reversed. I am out the window, Shorey.
What happened this time?
It's a free kick to De Koning. He's obviously been blocked by Lynch off the ball. Rewald took the screamer, and it'll count for nothing.
He's got no theatre, that umpire.
De Koning down the line. Gibcus was up, couldn't take it. Handball from Daniel Rioli, didn't quite hit a target. Graham able to barge his way through. Handball back to Tarrant. Under pressure, just dumped that kick, and easy mark for Stewart. And he gets the boos from the Richmond fans. Stewart now, he kicks down the line. Blitzarves will be up, knocked away. Myers has got the bouncing footy. Handball to Hawkins, usually good with his kick. Inside 50, Stengel takes the mark, 35 out, plays on. Handball over the top, Jeremy Cameron, goal! He's got 3. The Cats have kicked 3 in a row, and just like that, they're back in front. 12-8-80 the Cats. Richmond 12-7-79 at the 14-minute mark of the final quarter on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard. This game just keeps on giving, Lloydie.
It does. Didn't see this coming. Got out to 17 points. this lead.
I saw this coming, Lloyd.
You did?
I did.
I didn't hear you say.
No, you...
What did you say?
7 minutes ago, I said you're going to have your time in the sun.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure that you take the most of them, and they've got the time in their sun now.
All right, Shorey, what's going to happen next then?
I got no idea. I'm not Nostradamus.
They've had 4 inside 50s.
Well done, you lifted as an A grader in that call. Well done.
4 inside 50s to 10. So it's still been Richmond have been dominant, but they've scored 3 times from their 4 entries. Richmond 10 inside 50s for 2 goals. What a game.
It's an amazing game.
What a rivalry between these two sides. And we've got 15 compelling minutes still to come. Out of the middle of the ground, Geelong takes possession. Blitzarves uses his left boot. Close to the target, it bounces. He paddles, he picks up, he's confronted. Hand pass, didn't find a target. Close goes again, he's tackled by Flostone. Over the boundary line it goes. 65 metres out from the Geelong goal. The tide was all going one way, but it's receded. And it's gone back the other way for Geelong to lead the game after trailing by 17. Thrown back into play. Soldo and Blitzarves. Blitzarves the tap. Attempt and sock it out of the air by Short. Got none of it. Atkins 50 out on the bounce. Kicks inside the 50. Over the top of it. Myers is tackled by 2 Tigers and the umpire will ball it up. Geelong in attack. 40 from goal in front of the Olympic stand.
They lead it by a point, the Cats. The umpire will throw it up in the air. 45 out from Geelong's goal. Soldo knocked it forward, straight to Blitzarves. Might have a crack here from the 50 for goal. It drifts left. Woo. And through for a point. Margin 2 now in favour of the Cats. 16-minute mark, final quarter.
If the Tigers can find a way, they'll be knocking on the door of the top 4. If the Cats can claim victory, they'll be back inside the top 4 after being dislodged by Carlton earlier today. The Blues by 31 over Fremantle. The kick in marked by Flostone in the right back pocket. Kicks to the wing, a 2-on-2. Nankervis there, punched away by De Koning. It spills to Nankervis. Kicks towards half forward. On the bounce, attacking it, Stewart. Pushed it forward with his barrel chest and then picked it up. He got bumped. He gave a hand pass to De Koning, who fell and gave it to Buse. Short pass to Close. 65 out. Geelong building. Hawkins is deep. Henry is deep. Close calls for movement. He sends it in long. Who can mark? Henry's got to run at it. Out comes Cameron. No mark taken. Henry tackled by Tarrant. The ball spills Richmond's way. McIntosh to Short. He kicks to half-back and Clark. Southern side.
Takes a bounce, Clark in a second. Thought about a third and then he kicked it off. It's a poor kick. It's going to come back. Oh, Atkins dropped it. Blitzarves. Tui. He's able to get in some space. Kicks to half forward. They're lining up. As Zach Guthrie takes the mark. He's a kick and a half out from Geelong's goal. He goes over his mark. He's going to go sideways.
Nankervis is a kick behind play here. That's why they couldn't go forward then. Now they've got Floston there too. Going to have to be very patient here.
Which Duncan has it. So, yeah, plenty of numbers Richmond have got back. Duncan now will go short again. Mark taken by Zach Guthrie. So still a fair way out from Geelong's goal as the Tigers are set up well behind the ball here. He'll kick it inside the 50, Guthrie hoping for a big mark. Pack flies and it's going to be Nankervis to take an uncontested mark, the big Richmond ruckman.
Kicks to fullback.
Bad kick. Got to keep control there.
Flostone out to halfback. Rewald dropped what he ordinarily would have taken. He paddles it out to Edwards, who scrubs it. Ford did well. Short picks up, looping hand pass out wide. Rewald takes on Buse. That's game. That's crazy. Holding the ball. Free kick with Buse in front of the Richmond bench where Dustin Martin stands hands on hips waiting to come back on. Buse surveys what's ahead of him. Plays on. Kicks it into the forward pocket. Henry in the pack. Nankervis as well through his hands. Cam Guthrie runs into Nankervis. Gibcus couldn't get a handle on it. Henry's got it. He's tackled. Ball up 20 metres from the Geelong goal. This match has swung extraordinarily in the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Their momentum swings in footy, an amazing thing. Cats by 2 at the moment with the momentum. There's the ball up. Close is able to shark it. Then he was shut down. High contact, Close. He'll take the free in the forward pocket.
He's had a really big quarter. I'm telling you, he's had this will be his 6th possession. He's kicked the goal. He is a very smart player, Brad Close.
Get some advice there from Jeremy Cameron. So he's going to have to open up the angle, go round the corner here from the forward pocket to extend Geelong's lead. Just gets his composure. Takes some deep breaths. His chest sticking out to the Centre half forward, he kicks, and he's missed. Just missing. Minor score. Cats, 12-10-82.
He thought he kicked that. I'm pretty sure. I know he was trying to con the umpire, but
Tigers 12-7-79.
Ralph Smith goes as long as he can to the southern side. It clears the pack and Lynch takes it. Infield hand pass to the corridor to Ross. He's confronted. Dribble kick. Didn't work. Atkins in the road as he's been so often. Hand pass to Menegola. Kicks Geelong to the wing. Mark taken by Isaac Smith.
Poor loopy handball from Lynch. No need for it. This last quarter, Dustin Martin, no touches. No touches for Shea Bolton either.
Oh, mongrel off the boot.
Inside 50 now, Curvis in the hole. Marks Nis, centre half back for the Tigers. Geelong leads the game by 3 at the 20-minute mark of the last.
Goes to Ross, who goes out wide for McIntosh. Southern wing, he can go for a gallop. He decides to just change positions and go inboard. He's got Rioli on the logo on the outer side. He chips it short and turns it over. Duncan takes the mark. Cats have got it back. Cats at half-back. He kicks it long for Cam Guthrie, who takes the mark. He's on the southern wing, Guthrie. He goes up looking for Henry. Great gather at ground level. Got the handball to Isaac Smith. Kick was good for Zach Guthrie. Short to Menegola, who takes it safely inside the 50. He'll shoot from 45 out, 45-degree angle.
What an amazing turnaround.
Yeah, it is.
Incredible, isn't it? You just see in the modern game how run-ons cannot be stopped. You know, you've got 18 coaches in the box. They just can't get out there to say, give the instruction of what to do. And the 666 doesn't help it probably at stoppage.
Smart kick by Guthrie because Nank was been behind the ball for most of this quarter.
Menegola, this is a big kick. Kicks from 49 metres, 45-degree angle. Out to the left again. The minor score, so missing a couple, the Cats. Margin 4 in favour of Geelong on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
Geelong's had the last 6 scores of the game for 3 goals, 3 consecutive behinds in that run now. Flostone in. Pickett from the right back pocket kicks Richmond to the wing. Bolton fresh on the ground, launches early, uses his spring and pulls in an outstanding mark in front of Kolodjasny. Hand pass to Daniel Rioli. His kick charged down by Buse. Rioli tries to bat it forward. Martin knocked it the way of Bolton. What vision. Released the hand pass to Ross. Off to Rioli. Hand pass underground. Guthrie held him. No free kick. He was playing for that. He hand passed in front of himself. Guthrie grabbed the jumper. It should have been a free kick.
No doubt, but the umpy doesn't play those very often now.
He hasn't played. He's been too cute, Rioli. His last 3 touches, he's tried to do too much.
Ball up at right half forward for Richmond. Taken by Selwood. He's strong. Got it to Atkins. Off to Guthrie. Cam Guthrie taken high. Marlon Pickett's tackling technique has been a little off today at times. Free kick, Cam Guthrie.
He gets angry at the contest. You've got to be smarter and in more control than that.
Comes in ball to Buse. Buse has it left half back. Cats by 4. So Buse goes all the way back over his mark. He's going to drive it long up the line here for the Cats. Who's here to take it? Here he is again. Then Curvis.
Jack Hawkins has had a Barry Crocker tonight.
Yep, takes it comfortably and then goes to Ross. Out on the members' wing. Wants a runner. He's got that. Broad's going to kick it inside the 50 for Richmond. Lynch will go to the football. In front was Stewart. Couldn't take it. And it's out. And we'll have a throw in right forward pocket. So deep in Richmond's attack now, with the Cats leading it by 4 points. So the Tigers will get their opportunity.
59,335 are in to watch a thriller at the MCG.
Great crowd.
A match with huge ramifications in the context of the season as well for 2 sides. Richmond still with some hope of making the top 4. Geelong position there at the start of the round. From the stoppage, Baker took it. Hand pass didn't hit a target. Tui clears out to half back, but Richmond win it. Marked by Ross. Ross 55 from goal. He sends it long to the tall timber. Lynch is there. He's outpointed by De Koning. This young player grows in stature every week. He marks at the top of the goal square.
Yes. Last line of defence here for the Cats, De Koning. The young man's going to go out to the southern side here with a big long kick. Zach Guthrie up, couldn't take the mark. Menegola stayed down. Quick kick to the wing. And Tarrant was there. And outgunned Hawkins, was just in a better position. Tarrant called the play on. He comes inboard to Ross. He's been great tonight for Richmond. He's got it just backward of the wing. So now Richmond have slowed up a little bit. McIntosh, the target, couldn't take it. Dustin Martin, here he is. He gives the handball away. Nankervis back to McIntosh. Quick kick to the forward pocket. The Coney has it on the bounce. They might concede here. They do. Well, Jasny walks it over. Sufficient enough pressure, the umpire deems there. And a rush behind going on the board for Richmond. 12-8-80. Geelong 12-11-83.
Stewart on kick-in duties for Geelong brings it to the members' side where they have a 2-on-1. Pickett's got to try and spoil away from Cam Guthrie and does, and gathers, aided by Shepard from Edwards. Kicks to Morris Rioli. He marks 35 out. He's on a 45-degree angle to the right. And this youngster with the famous Richmond name has a chance to put the Tigers in front at the 25-minute mark of the last.
Oh, well done, Marlion Pickett then. Yeah, Marlion Pickett. He does get angry when he attacks the ball, but that was a 1-on-2 and he won out on that occasion. Big kick. Oh, well, we know that.
This ground has been a field of dreams for Rioli's. Morris Rioli puts it right through the middle and puts the Tigers in front. 26 played final term on 3AW football. Richmond 13-8-86. Geelong 12-11-83. How we've been treated at the MCG, and we've still got a couple of minutes to go.
Well done, Pickett. So good mark by De Koning, but they're fatigued, they're tired. So it's just another long kick that goes inside, and Pickett just beat two players. Pickett beat two players, and then obviously Rioli's one of those players that he pressures, but he stays inside forward 50 a lot, and he didn't look like missing that one.
I'm just looking now. Jeremy Cameron's going to centre half forward. I'd throw him in this centre bounce. The ball mightn't get down to him, but you know how he creates by foot up the ground. He's had an impact at centre bounce. They've taken him out. I just don't understand
Lynch on the wing. They've thrown an extra back behind the ball, the Tigers.
So Richmond back in front by 3. We're back in the middle. Atkins rips it out of the middle. He gets the clearance. It's inside the 50 for the Cats. Oh, Tyson Stengel hit it hard like a hurricane.
Jeremy
and then a
Cameron.
high ball inside the 50. Henry's brought down the mark. Wow, what a grab it was. Tyson Stengel came in like a hurricane on that football. Sent it long and deep. And Henry will take his shot. 25 out directly in front.
Oh, boy. Wouldn't feel that nervous, would you, Lloydie, at this time? This is what forwards do, but he's a defender.
These are the shots that make you nervous, sorry.
He's directly in front. He moves in. Jack Henry kicks the goal. The Cats are back in front. The Cats are back in front of the G at the 27-minute mark of the final quarter on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. It's all about the centre clearances at the moment. They go to 13-11-89. Richmond 13-8-86 with a 6-6-6, Lloydie. Yeah. It's all about getting it out of the middle.
Have a look what's happened here. They've pulled Selwood out of the centre bounce and Jeremy Cameron goes in there.
I reckon it's times like this where Steve Hocking in his current employment's thinking, I wish I didn't bring in the 6-6-6. His team is up by a goal. We know what a quick clearance can do. Still time for Richmond. What an epic game it's been. We've had 3 lead changes in the final quarter, essentially in the space of the last 14 minutes. This has gone right down to the wire. Has Richmond got another blow in it? Nankervis and Stanley stalk each other in the middle of the ground. Nankervis wins it down to the brilliant Baker. He's taken high. Baker's free kick in the middle of the MCG. Geelong players flood back. Richmond players flood forward. Kick goes inside the 50 to the pack. Offhand, Stuart Rose for Geelong. Hand pass off to Menegola. Kicked off the outside of his boot towards the boundary line at halfback. Broad Stengel, no mark taken. Atkins Rose clears, but he took it over the boundary line. And luckily for Geelong that he did, because Flostone marked it on the wing. A boundary throw in 55 metres from the Richmond goal. The Cats lead by 3 at the 29-minute mark of the last.
So it's in Richmond's attacking half. It's 50 around for their goal as the umpire will throw the ball back into play. Hedge of your seat stuff. Stanley wins it down, then goes chasing after it. Cam Guthrie takes it. His handball battered down. Daniel Rioli missed the target. Quick hack.
Stewart.
Guess who? Tom Stewart, the villain all day, has brought down the mark for the Cats deep in defence.
29th disposal, 730 metres gained for Tom.
If that's his last act for a few weeks, it's a very important one for the Cats. He launches it out to the southern wing. Tarrant reaches over the top and takes an excellent mark.
20 seconds.
He's got to move it quickly. The Tigers need a mark. Tarrant towards Rewalt and Bolton. No mark taken. Martin's lurking. He turns tackler on close. He drags him down. The umpire watches, waits and says, mine. A lot of hands in the air appealing for a holding the ball free kick. It'll be a ball up 35 metres from the Richmond goal. Cats by 3 points. Nankervis out of the ruck. Kick smothered. Guthrie toe pokes towards the boundary. McIntosh there. Sees it over. That'll just about be it. Boundary throw in. 50 metres out from the Richmond goal at left half forward. The timekeepers are just about have their hand on the siren. What a victory this will be for Geelong.
Oh, boy.
What a game. What a rivalry. What a finish. Geelong wins by 3.
We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dark, down that Gardenia Park.
There are games that are hyped as blockbusters. They don't always deliver, but today it certainly did. Geelong got out to a 35-point lead in the second quarter before Richmond hauled them in. The Tigers got out by a couple of goals, out to a 17-point lead in the final quarter, and Geelong hit back. 3 lead changes in the last term. The Cats in front when it counted.
We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dark, down that Gardenia Park.
It is hard to think of a better game this season. Geelong defeats Richmond 13-11-89 to 13-8-86 in front of 59,335. What a game at the MCG as we all draw a breath.
Yeah. Amazing. That was one of the greatest games of football I've seen, and that's saying something over 40 years. But I've got to mention, I was at Scoresby Footy Club today, right, just for a luncheon, and they said, what's footy to you like? And I said, good sides still play good football, and bad sides bring others down when the year gets too long, they go defensive. And this is what I meant about the good side still playing good football. That is as good a game I've seen in a decade, and one of the best in the 40 years I've been involved in football. It had everything. And we got back to the physical contest. We got back to the individual brilliance, the great courage personified by all players, but a lot of them going back to the flight of the ball, players getting knocked out. It was just magnificent. It's a joy to be part of the AFL when you're at a game like that, Lloydie.
Oh, outstanding game, and as I touched on at quarter time, it was the highest standard game quarter I've seen. And yes, other teams have put in high quality quarters, but I thought for both sides, just the performance of both of them, and across 4 quarters, the ebbs and flows of it. I thought how far Geelong early, and then I thought how far Richmond late, and then it ends up being a 3-point classic. So 2 high quality coaches, high quality senior players. I hope they meet again in the finals, because they are 2 awesome teams.
I'll tell you what, you talked about Steve Hocking. I love the 6-6-6 rule when it's deep in games, Shorey.
And,
that last play from Geelong, that last goal, they got the centre clearance. I think it was Atkins getting out of the middle. Unbelievable Tyson Stengel attack on that football. He just flashed in. And then, of course, the big mark from Henry to drag it down and kick the goal from point-blank range. The goal kickers, by the way, 3 to Jeremy Cameron, 3 to Tyson Stengel, 2 to Jack Henry, including the match winner. Singles to Isaac Smith, Brian Myers, Brad Close, Mark Blitzarves, Zach Toohey. And for the Richmond Football Club, 3 to Shea Bolton, 3 to Tom Lynch, and then 2 goals to Morris Riel. That was a big goal late. Unfortunately, wasn't enough to get it done for them. Singles to Dustin Martin, Baker, Edwards, Clark and Ralph Smith. So early in that first quarter, I think you said Lloydie, and I agreed with you. How far Richmond? What changed? What was the momentum shift in your eyes?
Well, Shorrock saw Jeremy Cameron go into the middle, so they started to get the ball forward in that last part, and I think it was just their efficiency. They weren't going in very often, but they were scoring, and that was a difference. They just needed... They got out to 17 points, and they just couldn't get the ball in there. But when they did, from that point on, they found ways to score. And a couple of balls from Jeremy Cameron inside forward 50, and Stengel had some big moments, didn't he, in that last quarter, with a goal and setting one up as well. And then your confidence builds again once you hit the scoreboard. So it was one of those games that was dictated by the centre bounce, and Geelong won a few key clearances.
What about Tom Stewart's mark in the end there? And that great players, you know, whether he heard the crowd or not, he probably would have heard it, but you go on with what you're doing, and to play his role to the extent that he did, and under pressure mark that ball. As I said, this game had everything, and we normally say we can have videos of a game of football and want to throw them in the bin. This is one that we want to throw out there to say, hey, this is how we want the game played, chaps. And well done to the coaches. I thought both reacted well when under pressure and made changes and were very, instigated comebacks from both teams, so well done.
We've got a quick wrap up. Our next game should be a cracker as well between Sydney and St Kilda. What a day of footy we've had, but and a great crowd too, 59,335. That's a fantastic turnout for today. Who says Saturday afternoon footy is dead? I mean, today's crowd at Marvel Stadium was a cracker. Carlton and Fremantle. I just really think that the day and twilight. They're just great time slots for the family, aren't they?
Absolutely, and especially when you get those sort of clear days in winter and you can bring the family along. It's perfect for football, and gee, we were treated to a very special game today, and we should get a good one tonight. But Richmond goes home the loser after this, but I don't think their Richmond fans could walk out of the ground and be overly disappointed with what their team produced, especially given they lost a vital part of their midfield in Dion Prester in the first quarter.
No, it's just scored.
All right, let's give you the goal of the day thanks to Sheen Panel Service. Had a car accident, call Sheen first, 1300 repair. Well,
the last one.
Is it the match winner, Jack Henry?
Well, the mark to get there too, so it all comes together, doesn't it?
And the mark of the day, thanks to Food Works. Shop local and save your local neighbourhood Food Works.
Max Henry giving the mark in the goal.
Henry or Stuart Late with the big mark in the defence. And the Pilot Medical Update, Nico. Men level up your health with Pilot. Head to pilot.com.au, speak to a doctor online and get treatment delivered. And that, of course, is the big injury to Dion Prester, who was ironed out by Tom Stewart, who's on report and will be spending some time on the sidelines, concussed. Obviously, we'll miss the mandatory week now after the concussion. I think that was the only issue, but we think that Stewart will spend some time, 3, maybe even 4 weeks. Yeah,
it's a question of how they grade it and whether he is straight to the tribunal for severe impact. If you knock someone out, is it severe or higher? You'd have to think it would be severe, wouldn't you? Yeah. So
you get a good bloke's discount, you've got a bloke.
Yeah.
He hadn't got a dirty bone in his body.
I can't think of him ever doing anything like that, and his level of contrition in the aftermath was very obvious as well. You could see that he was...
Jeremy Cameron being shared off. Game 200 for Jeremy Cameron. We're going to get to our next game. So, Lloydie, give us your votes, your 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 for the 3AW Player of the Year.
Tough one, Shorey.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm giving one vote to Tomi Nankervis, 22 disposals as a ruckman. Was huge in the ruck. I've given 2 votes to Tyson Stengel for his impact today. 18 disposals, 3 goals. Had a great game. 3 votes I've given to Liam Baker, 24 disposals, 480 metres gained, 7 clearances for him. 4 votes I've given to 2 defenders in the best players. 4 votes I've given Nick Boston, 24 disposals, 12 marks in defence. And 5 votes I've given to the villain of the day in Tom Stewart, 29 disposals, 9 rebounds from 50 and 738 metres gained.
He's always like the bad guys, Lloyd, isn't he?
All righty, Cats. So we might bring you the song from the Cats' room as they move inside to link arms, and I'll sing that one with gusto, no doubt about that. And it's a big win for them. Back in the top 4, Nico, and I think they got North next week. So you put that down.
Got a good run home with a lot of good games at Cardinia Park in the run home as well.
Yeah, so you'd think they'll finish inside the top 4 as they move into the rooms now. The Cats.
They've gone to second with that win.
You got to remember that is a gutsy comeback too.
Absolutely.
Not just from Richmond, but them at the end. They were gone, done and dusted.
All right, let's hear them. Here are the Cats. Well, that's us done. It's a pleasure to be at the footy, boys. Just an outstanding game, and congratulations to the two teams that put on the show today, the Cats and the Tigers. Geelong by 3 points, winners 13-11-89, Richmond 13-8-86. The footy continues. Should be another great game. Stick with us. It is Sydney and St Kilda for Maccas. 3AW is football.